What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God!
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody. How are we all doing? It's Thursday. It's Thursday with no Karen Reed and no Alec Murdoch, and no Alec, that other guy that shoots people. Baldwin, yeah, that one. No Alec Baldwin, no Karen Reed. So it's our retro trial Thursday, and if you are just joining us for the first time on this stream, we'll catch you up here in just a minute or two when we take care of some housekeeping stuff, some background stuff, and we get ready to dive into it. But first, as always, we have a like and subscribe poll up. Oh my God, people! Seriously, there's 100 of you here in chat, 57 likes, but 66 people have voted. What in the poll when I specifically said don't cheat? The idea is you make sure you're subscribed, and then and only then should you vote. But you're all degenerate cheaters. Repent. Shame on you. Get down there and hit that like button. Like, subscribe, vote, and don't cheat. Cough, cough. Okay, now we have more likes than votes. That's the way it's supposed to be. Just kidding. So we're watching this witchcraft ritual slaying trial of Donald Hartung out of Florida. It's a 2015 murder and a 2020 trial. But yesterday was day one of a new witch trial, a new witchcraft trial, in which a young man was supposed to have killed his dog and his mother because mother was a witch. So that's what today's like and subscribe. Because, I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds? We're pulling up an obscure 2020 murder trial for witchcraft and ritual slayings. And in the middle of this, another witchcraft trial starts. What are the odds of that? So with that in mind, there's a new witchcraft murder trial. Should we watch it next? Well, our choices are werewolf, their wolf, their castle. There. Oh, we don't even have to do this. We can do this one. Your second choice is
they're coming to get you, Barbara.
And the third choice is pound a stake through its heart. And the final choice is run, hide in the basement. So those are your choices. And if you can't guess, the first choice is heck yeah. The second one is okay. The third one is, I don't know. And the fourth one is absolutely not. So, and we've got Ozzy Wombat in the house with the 5 Legal Vices memberships, kicking us off with a bell ring. Thank you so much, Ozzy Wombat. If you are an Aussie and or a Wombat, or just someone who happens to get a Legal Vices gifted membership from an Aussie Wombat. Again, it begs the question, are there other kinds of wombats? Jill M's, Zuligan, Alita Lay, Silent PS, Marina L, and Will Call Magic. One of you 5 awesome people, well, all of you 5 awesome people should thank Aussie Wombat for that gifted membership. And Tammy Fayette says all the witchcraft, all the time. Okay, cool. All right, people, this is our chill stream of the week where we're just going to sit back and relax. And what we're going to do is we'll watch this for 2 hours. We'll watch this for our standard 2 hours. And then we'll watch the opening statements of the other witchcraft trial that started yesterday. to kind of give you a little feel for what's going on. And then we'll do an Insta poll to see whether we should continue watching it after this is over, because we don't have much of this trial left. We're not doing too bad. This is a short trial, and we're plowing through it. So, all right. And because this is not a normal trial stream, this is a 5-year-old case, 4-year-old case dealing with a 9-year-old murder. Yeah, something like math. I can't do math. 2015. Yeah, it'd be 9 years. So it's a 4-year-old case dealing with a 9-year-old murder. If any of you happen to super chat, we'll just bring it up and talk about it as soon as possible. We don't have to wait for breaks and stuff. We can make our own breaks because that's how we roll. Anything else we need to talk about before we get into this? Good morning, everybody. They're saying good morning. Good morning. All right, everybody's here. Everybody's there. We got 120 people here and 99 likes. So, okay, if you're just joining us for the first time, or if you need a refresher, this is the murder case involving a Florida man by the name of Donald Hartung, who's an older gentleman. He allegedly killed his 2 half-brothers, one of whom was an IT specialist with Homeland Security, the other who was a special needs guy who worked at Walmart, and murdered his mother, allegedly, because of reasons, I guess. The reason the prosecution gave was because he was written out of her will, and so therefore murder. There hasn't really been a whole lot of evidence tying him to the crime. Basically what they have is he came to the house every Tuesday. He came to the house every Tuesday to cook dinner for these people that he allegedly hated enough to murder. The last time anybody saw these people alive was on a Tuesday evening. And their bodies were discovered stabbed and bludgeoned in the house. Now, mind you, it wasn't a pretty murder scene. It wasn't a pretty discovery because it happened at the end of July in Florida in a sealed up house with no air conditioning. And the bodies were buried under piles and piles of clothes. So it was moist and damp and gooey in there. So, yeah, it was apparently really unpleasant. But they found some leftover food in the oven from that, may have been there from the last time anybody saw them alive on a Tuesday. So what have they got to tie him to it? Just that he always comes over on Tuesday, and that's about it. But his house, the defendant's house, is like Witchcraft Central. It's literally like IKEA for witches. He has pentagrams all over the place, candles, wands, incense, spell books, witchcraft books. God. Just like anything you could possibly think of to get from the Sears or JCPenney witchcraft catalog, he had it all. And it was very, very and they were the dead side of his family were borderline, if not actual hoarders, but his house was so ridiculously immaculately clean. Everything was systematically placed on desks and tables. Everything is lined up way off the charts OCD level. So yeah, he had wands. They had a couple of wands, and then it was a scene. Literally, it was like witchcraft. It's like the Hogwarts starter kit. Like, here's your first day at Hogwarts. Take all your witchcraft supplies. But they really haven't tied him to the murder, other than there were some cigarette butts in the house and he was known to smoke. But right now the prosecution is in the middle of one witness, Colonel Sanders, Burl Ives from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Bankin' Ras. what Rankin Bass, God, that's their name. I knew it wasn't Bankin' Ras. The Burl Ives, Rankin Bass stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, whatever you want to call the guy. The guy was retired. The guy is a damn freak. I would look at him as a suspect for the murder because he creeps me out way more than undead zombie witchcraft defendant guy. Next door neighbor dude just sits there. Oh no, he's a witch, not a warlock. Apparently, allegedly, there are male witches, so it's not a male female thing. We actually have a couple of Wiccans here in chat that can educate you on the difference between witches and wizards. Warlocks. Sorry, between witches and warlocks. So let's see. There we go. Janet, she's on top of it. Next door neighbor dude is retired. He does nothing but sit on his front porch and watch the damn neighborhood all day, every day, all day, every day. And he has a goddamn near photographic eidetic memory. And he doesn't look like he's making shit up either. Like she'll be asking the prosecutor, Sarah Palin, the prosecutor will be asking Burl Ives or Colonel Sanders questions like, what were you doing? And 9 years before this, well, I guess it was 5 years before the murder trial. So 5 years before this murder trial happened. What were you doing on Thursday, July, whatever it was, 28th? Well, I know that I was sitting with my toolbox because I had 3 different racks on my toolbox and I just got some new tools and I was trying to make these sockets fit in this box. And then I remember looking over and seeing it's like that. And it's like, well, he always came home at 5:23 p.m. He's like freaking Rain Man. It's spooky and it's scary and it doesn't sound like he's making any of it up. It sounds like he's really remembering this obscure shit that happened years ago. And he's just like, well, duh, how just watch. We're still in the middle of this. And it's wild. I don't know if any of you remember this guy from my birthday stream 2 weeks ago, but dang, dude creeps me the hell out. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's watch this dude. And like I said, this is a little more laid back. So if and when super chats come in, we read them as quickly as possible. And also not to beg or even suggest. I'm just saying if you don't want YouTube to take the chunk out and you're so inclined, we have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, everything down there in the link. If you want alternative ways of sending me cash. So Tammy Fayette with the $2. Tammy Fayette says, bring back the ASMR, Jeff. I miss it a lot. Well, I miss it a lot too, Tammy, but you told me to stop. So if you beg for more, then sure, we can do Tammy Fayette, Super Chat, ASMR. Thank you. Sorry to creep everyone else out except for Tammy. But there we go. Let's bring it up. Bring it on up. And again, at the end of this trial, we're going to watch, at the end of today, we're going to watch the opening statements in the new witchcraft trial that's going on right now. So there's witchcraft everywhere. Where's the screen? There it is. I'm going to be bigging it so you can see my handsome smiling mug. There we go. Hi. This here is Burl Ives from the Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas special, or Colonel Sanders, depending on what your preference is. Let's unmute him.
Get the trash on that Tuesday, July 28th.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's where we left off. This is the guy, like Tuesday, July 28th, 5 years ago. Tell me about picking up the trash that day, and he frickin' remembers it. It's spooky. I'm just saying, it's spooky. All right, I'll shut up.
That you would see John get the trash can from the road sometimes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see him get the trash on that Tuesday, July 28th?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember
Yes, David Nelson says looks more like the snowman. Yeah, the snowman in the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas special was played by Burl Ives. He was the singer / actor that did that. So yeah, that's the guy. And for those of you that are just wondering, it's this guy. Tell me that's not him. It is exactly him. Like literally him. Same picture right there. Same thing. Same eyebrows, same eyes, same nose, same mustache, same goatee, same big round skull. It's him. It's Burl Ives playing the snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Approximately what time it was?
So he's remembering approximately what time the defendant's brother took the garbage out on Thursday, July 28th, or Tuesday, July 28th in 2015.
It was late morning, before lunch.
Was it before or after you saw Mr. Hartung arrive at the Smith home?
It was before.
Obviously.
After that Tuesday, July 28th, when you saw John get the trash can from the road, garbage can, I think you called it. Did you ever see John again, get the mail, get packages, anything?
No, I did not.
You heard the dishwasher play music, David.
After you saw RT on July 28th, 2015, did you ever see him come and go either
sensitive
in his
microphone
car or his mom's car?
I did not.
Did you see any activity of the Smiths whatsoever until they were found on Friday the 31st?
No activity.
I was watching. I know they didn't. There was no activity since
Those are my
Tuesday.
questions. Thank you, Mr. Chittenden.
Oh, here's lawyer Diabetes. He's the defense lawyer. Let me ask you, Mr. Nosy Neighbor. Are you a stalker? Are you a stalker by any chance?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chittenden.
Good afternoon.
I believe we met a couple years ago.
Anchor court reporting, yes.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. The picture that Ms. Jensen introduced to you about your home, was that a picture that is that a current picture, or was that the picture from a while ago?
Yes, it is an LG dishwasher. You got two choices here in Korea,
Let me
LG or
rephrase
Samsung.
Make it maybe easier. The picture, does that depict how your home looked on July 28th, 2015?
There is a difference, and it's very difficult for me to tell from this picture. This picture is after, considerably after that date, because the fence has been moved.
God, Jesus, dude.
It was moved forward. And this one, I cannot tell because of the angle exactly whether the fence is in the original position or the new position. The perspective is difficult to determine that.
Okay. So you had the chain link fence at the Smith's house was there. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
The chain link fence at the Smith house was there.
Yes,
that
sir.
not
It
correct?
was. Yes.
And you have a fence around your yard.
We have a board fence
Okay.
that goes from the chain link fence to our house on that side, and that side only, actually.
Okay. So between you and the Smiths.
That is correct, sir.
And your front porch is the same location now.
Mr. Hartung, if you're going to murder your family,
No,
just
it
put a
hasn't.
higher fence in first.
Now, you said that on the 28th of July of 2015 that you saw
Sam the Snowman testifies against Jack Frost. The defendant could he could be sort of Jack Frosty. Maybe. Or what was the skeleton in Nightmare Before Christmas? Skellington, Jack Skellington. That's what his name was. Could be Jack Skellington because he's kind of undead. Sam the Snowman testifies against Jack Frost. 2021. Dara the Wholesome. 2020, but close enough. Thank you very much, Adara the Wholesome. Oh, and I forgot to mention to those of you also, we got 200 people here. Oh my Lord, this woman above the court TV sign. Wow. Tell me she's not a witch. Dang. It's like Agra's taking a nap in the court there. Jesus. Okay, I'm distracted by sleeping Agra. It's a running joke here because it's not really a joke. The front door to the house was locked when when the murders allegedly happened, and the police couldn't get into the front door, so they were always going in the back door. They were going in and out of the back door, and unfortunately, the two main detectives that were going in and out of the rear entrance were detective, or I think they were both detectives. We'll call them cop, Officer Coxwell and Officer Infinger. No lie. I'm not making this up. Chat can vouch. If this is your first time and you keep hearing us talking about Detective Infinger through the rear entry or Detective Coxwell going in the back door, it's legitimate testimony that keeps getting brought up in this trial. It's the worst. It's the worst to hear. And if you go back to the earlier episodes, I think it was the episode 2, maybe, that's all we heard for like an hour was how Coxwell and Infinger were going in the rear entry and going through the back door, coming in and out of it was awful. So, all right, I just had to bring that up because it's never not going to be funny.
John, bring the garbage cans in.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
It's Danzig.
And
that's who it is. It's
that was
Danzig
after
back
the
there
crash, isn't
above
it?
court TV.
Yes.
Or Gene Simmons now, one of the two. Yep, Coxwell and
Now-
Infinger going in the back entry, just going in the rear entrance.
You, on that day, spoke with the investigators, did you not?
We spoke briefly with one investigator, I believe. Yes.
And then subsequently, you contacted the sheriff's department and had another meeting with the sheriff's department.
That is correct.
Correct. How long after the 28th was that?
The
Second meeting, yes, sir.
That would have been at the end of September, I believe, or about the last week of September.
After the 28th, how often, if at all, did you see anyone at, up until September, let's say, did you see people at the Smith residence?
After the 31st.
Right. We know the law enforcement was there for a few days.
That's correct.
And then after that did the house just remain vacant?
The probate people came, family members came once the police.
The surviving
had
family
released
members.
the property and taken down the crime scene tape. Family members arrived and they came to the property. And the probate attorney and his paralegal, I believe, came to the property.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Hartung at the property?
Yes.
How many times?
27.
Quite a few times. I can't tell you exact number, but it was quite a few times.
This is the only thing you can't tell us exactly
The reason I
what
ask is
happened.
you're pretty accurate about everything else. So.
Exactly.
you know how many times Mr. Hartung was there, or just a few times?
If he says 17 or something like that, I'm going to lose my shit.
Trying to
Trying
come
to
up with a number for you.
Well, I mean, if you can't, that's okay.
Yeah, it was. I'd say it's probably more than 10.
Okay. And was he with the relatives when he came over?
Usually, I think a few times he came by himself.
And did you see anyone else come over there?
There were the probate people were contacting cleaning agencies to attempt to clean the residence.
Okay. Did you see any locksmiths over there?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
God.
Immediately afterwards, it was fairly busy, but I didn't make notes of who was there.
You lying son of a bitch. You made notes of everybody. It may have just been over here, but dude knows that locksmiths came to the estate. I mean, come on, dude. This guy he is a creeper. You know this dude's looking in windows and shit.
That day, you were apparently paying. And
What have I done? Did I skip ahead? I did.
Did you know who got the mail when John was working?
I'm a bad widow boy.
Towards your house?
Toward the house. Yes, I did.
All right.
Now, I take it because it was so hot, all the windows were open at the house.
Yes, they were.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Hartung would visit, you said that he would park by those trees. Is that correct?
Yes, he would.
Was that so someone else could pull in the driveway and park?
I don't know why he did it.
It left room for someone to pull in the driveway
Yes, it did.
and park.
So
Richard could have pulled in the driveway and parked. He wasn't blocking Richard's parking space.
No, he was not.
Now, you said you don't keep a watch.
No.
Come on. He's got an internal clock like
Do you have a
nobody's
clock in the kitchen, or have you banished all clocks from the home?
We at that time, we had a clock radio in the bedroom,
Jeez.
which we used as an alarm clock for things like doctor's appointments and so on. But we did not have
Early COVID patient there in
clocks
court.
in most of the house.
Okay. What time did you said sometime in the afternoon Mr. Hartung arrived, but you can't tell us when?
It was after lunch, early afternoon.
Okay. And
Good one, porcelain.
you said that he left
Yeah, it was good. I like that. It was good.
before dark. Is that right?
At twilight, yes, sir.
Well, originally when I asked you, you said that he left in early evening.
Yes,
And then you said it was before dark.
that's correct.
And you said maybe twilight, early twilight, maybe.
Yes,
So it was just sometime at the end, towards the end of the day.
that's correct. It was still light outside.
Oh yeah. Again, for those of you that don't know, dude knew what time the sun set on Tuesday, the 28th of July, 2015, within 2 minutes. He missed the actual sunset time by 2 minutes. I'm sorry, this guy freaks me the hell out. I wish he would get off the stand because honestly, this is the creepiest, weirdest, scariest witness I've ever seen in my life. Just because of what he saw and remembers.
When you said that when Richard came home, he didn't park as he normally did,
That's correct.
but you saw him driving down Deerfield.
Coming
towards your house?
Toward the house. Yes, I did.
Was he driving at a regular rate of speed?
He was driving a little bit faster than he normally did.
Was he racing?
No,
Oh yeah.
Was he driving in a way that concerned you or caused you any concern?
no.
Now, you said that you had seen John, I think that day, get the mail.
I saw him bring the garbage cans in.
Did you see him get the mail?
I did not see him get the mail that I can remember. No.
Okay. Did you ever see him get the mail?
Yes, he would get the mail usually.
Would he get the mail on Tuesdays when he was at home?
Usually, yes.
And when he was at work, he obviously didn't get the mail.
That's correct.
Do you know who got the mail when John was working?
The mailbox is situated across the street from the residence, and sometimes they would pull up to the mailbox and could reach it from the RT would pull up and could reach it from there. Other times they would come out, RT or John. Usually John would come out later after he got home and get the mail.
So it wasn't always in the evening. I mean, in the afternoon.
No, it was various times.
Are you done there, Chief?
You're right.
When Mr. Hartung went over there, did you ever speak with him?
No.
You said that he usually had his dog with him.
He usually had his dog with him. Yes, sir.
They're coming
didn't
to
see the
get
dog
you,
that day.
I
Barbara.
did not see the dog that day.
And that day, you apparently were paying attention to the Smith house, or you saw a lot of things going on at the Smith house that day?
Well, because of the angle that I was at in the lean-to doing my sockets, I was facing the back porch of the residence. But there wasn't a lot of activity. I only saw Mr. Hartung come out twice.
Okay. Did you hear a gunshot?
No, I did not.
And all your windows were open?
That is correct.
And during the time prior to when you said you heard you saw Mr. Hartung leave, you were on the side of the house where you could see that house, right?
Yes. I was doing the socket inventory, saw him come out twice, and then I went inside to change shoes and go to the front porch.
And you can hear
I can't with this guy.
over to the Smith's house from your front porch. You could hear any commotion going on.
Yes, I should be able to. Yes.
And at least until Mr. Hartung left, you never heard a gunshot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Pretty much, right?
And what time do you usually go to bed? Well, I know you don't have a clock, but
No.
ballpark it for me.
It's not necessarily a usual time. It can vary, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning.
I am not lying. And again, chat that's on can vouch for it. In the police video of his house, he literally had a broomstick in his living room. But weirdly, his dead relatives had a shovel in their living room. But he did, in fact, have a broomstick. He had a broom in his house. The defendant did, not Santa Claus.
Sometimes 11:30.
What do you want, doofus?
Stay up pretty late.
Okay.
What's pretty late for you, Gramps?
And do you know if anyone ever came back to the Smith's house that night or in any evening? after Mr. Hartung left?
I did not observe anyone at the house.
Okay. In late night, do you know?
Because the windows would have been open. It's any activity in the driveway, vehicles, motors running, you can hear it. But
nice
no,
reference,
there was
Tim.
Nothing.
You could hear a motor running, but you couldn't hear a
Nice.
gunshot.
That's a good one.
I did not hear a gunshot, but anybody who would have
That's some
driven into the
deep
driveway,
lore
you
that-
can hear.
You get 100 internet
Thank
points.
you,
for
sir.
that.
Just explain what your definition of twilight is, please.
Well, I know I used to do cinematography, and twilight is when the sun sets, but is still at least 6 degrees above the 6 degrees below the horizon. And it's what photographers call the magic hour, or the sweet light.
Yeah, can we not use the term magic in this trial,
shadows,
please, neighbor?
It's like a lighted room, basically, and you can carry on normal business operations in that light.
But is the sun starting to go down?
I'm sorry,
Is the sun starting to go down?
that is correct.
But it's
Go
It's still light
down
enough.
in the
It is still light.
to see.
That is correct.
Thank you.
May I ask one follow-up question? I don't have to bring Mr. Chipman back, Judge.
Yes.
Oh no, JKD Buck, no.
Do you know what? I'm sorry, let me approach the.
Let me waddle up to the microphone. Where's the
Mr.
oxygen?
Chittenden, on the 31st of July, that's the day that the law enforcement came to the
Yes.
house. Do you know what time they locked down the crime scene and everybody left?
Everybody left, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Completely?
Yes, sir.
It was very late in the evening. It was, I'm saying it's probably
Nice.
well after 9 o'clock, I would imagine. It was very late,
9, 10 o'clock?
at least.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Nothing further.
Didn't say anything else.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You did step down.
Oh, thank God. That's the end of that witness. Holy crap. All right. We need to back out and back up to our next witness. Oh, Lord. Oh, looking at the thumbnail, ladies and gentlemen, our next witness appears to be a prison snitch. A prison snitch of color. I wonder how he's going to stack up against Munch from the Zachariah Anderson trial. We got Munch's counterpart here. But before we do that, and this is probably going to get me demonetized, but we were talking about him being Santa Claus and whatnot. I think he's going to be like the Alice Cooper version of Santa Claus. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but Alice Cooper does a hell of a good Santa Claus is Coming to Town for a Christmas album called A Very Metal Xmas. Yeah, and
So you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Your town. He knows where you live. He knows that your window's open. He knows what lives under your bed.
so that's the guy that I picture him to be. He knows where you live. He knows that your windows are open. He knows what's under your bed. Yeah, for those of you that need that album, it is a crazy cool album that's got like all the gods of metal doing Christmas songs. It's called a very metal Xmas. It's got all kinds. Very metal Xmas is what it's called. you can get it on Amazon. It's there. You can just download it from other sites legally, because you would never want to do anything illegally. It's got All I Want for Christmas is no, this is the other one. No. There's a things that there's a very metal Xmas. Because there's a lot of posers out there after this one came out. Then people, all the other metalheads said, dang, we want to get on that. Cooper, let me find the it's We Wish You a Metal Xmas and a Headbanging New Year, I guess that's the album called We Wish You a Metal Christmas. It's got We Wish You a Merry Christmas from lots of people. Run, Rudolph, Run with Lemmy Kilmister. Santa Claus is Coming to Town with Alice Cooper. And I will tell you, honest to God, no joking aside, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Dio. Oh my God. The God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, sung by Ronnie James Dio, is immaculate. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous song. It's got Silver Bells, little drummer boy with Billy Sheehan on it. God, it's got all kinds of good stuff. Tim Ripper Owens doing Santa Claus is Back in Town. Just all kinds of good artists from all the metal bands and stuff. Jeez, it's really good. All right. Anywho, if you want it, it is called We Wish You a Metal Xmas and a Headbanging New Year. And it's worth the price of admission just for God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, sung by Dio. All right, let's bring up Prison Snitch, shall we? Prison Snitch's name is, what's Prison Snitch's name? Sorry. Marlon Purifoy. That's too close to Malfoy for me. Jailhouse informant Marlon Purifoy gives his testimony about how the defendant allegedly told him he murdered his family. When you don't have enough evidence to convict, find a prison snitch. And while we're finding our prison snitch, Adara, the host, we got that. You don't get a twofer yet. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Jeff, don't make fun of the mayor of Spookyville, Florida. Pretty much. And Joe Choi mentioned something here that we need to talk about. If your vice is tea or coffee, check out the Dragon's Treasure tea. That's thedragonstreasure.com. And right there where it says that, and use code VICES, and I believe it gets you 15% off. It's a win-win-win because he gets a sale. I think I get like a 5% kickback and you get a 15% off. So, hey, everybody gets something out of this transaction. And I'm not saying, I am a huge Dragon's Treasure tea fan. Just happen to have one of my favorites, Candy Apple, right here. And it's got black tea, apple pieces, natural candy apple flavor, and cinnamon. It is a very, very Christmassy. Just I guess in honor of Santa Claus there. But the Dragon's Treasure, he's in Texas, and during the recent horrific weather Texas had, he had a lot of damage to his products and things, and he could really use some business. So if you like tea in any way, shape, or form, or even if you don't know if you like tea, go to thedragonstreasure.com. He has over 100 different teas that he personally blends and packages himself. He's got some soap. He sells a couple of soap products and a couple of coffee. He has, I believe, 2 types of coffee. One of them is Dio coffee, as a matter of fact, which I really, really like. But go there, thedragonstreasure.com. Use code VICES and get a huge discount. He could really, really use some help now in the post-weather Texas. All right. With that out of the way, let's share screen. Our prison snitch. Let's get our prison snitch. This is the prosecutor, Sarah Palin. We need to unmute.
And Mr. Purifoy, how old are you?
45.
What is your date of birth?
5/10/74.
Popcorn shrimp.
Mr.
Boiled
Purifoy,
shrimp,
how many felony
steamed
convictions
shrimp.
do you have?
I think about 6 or 7.
6 or 7. I've lost track of the number of felonies I have. I have no idea. 6 or 7, Let's not quibble over numbers. I got a lot of them. Oh no. All right.
And you also have a crime of dishonesty, a petty theft.
Yeah, petty theft, yeah.
How does that not
Now,
how does that not automatically nuke his credibility as a witness? He's got a bunch of convictions, and at least one of them is a crime of dishonesty.
currently serving a prison sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
How long is your sentence?
30 years.
Jesus.
30 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you serving? What's your charge?
Attempted murder.
Oh, God. Great. Upstanding citizen.
And was that for attacking somebody with a hammer?
Correct, ma'am.
Oh, God.
Now, Mr. Purefoy, were you originally looking at a possible life sentence?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what she's doing here is she's getting out ahead of some really, really bad testimony. If she doesn't say it, the defense is going to get up and go, aren't you convicted of a whole bunch of shit, including crimes of dishonesty? And didn't you try to kill someone with a hammer? And you were facing a life, and you got a plea deal, didn't you? You're going to get some time off for coming here and testifying, aren't you? She's got to get out ahead of this. Otherwise, she's going to get she's going to get murdered with a hammer if she doesn't get out in front of this. So this is our witness who is testifying, and he's clearly going to get a redo. This guy tried to kill somebody with a hammer, and they're going to give him less time in prison so that he can narc on a zombie. So she's got to. It's hammer time. JKD Bug. Yeah, so she's got to get out in front of this, because this is not something you don't want the jury to know through the defense counsel. Get out in front of that. That's what I said. That's the first thing that I said was popcorn shrimp, boil shrimp, steam shrimp. So yeah, there we go. Let's see how much worse this gets. Because I already personally, he hasn't said anything of substance about the case, but I'm already calling his credibility into question.
And did your prosecutor agree to give you a cap of 30 years?
Yes, ma'am.
I was not your prosecutor.
No, you
was
were
it?
my prosecutor.
Was Mr. Myers your prosecutor?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And was that agreement for your cooperation in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, guy in the back's
Now,
wearing green today.
When you were sentenced, obviously your judge still gave you 30 years, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you gotten any other benefit for your cooperation in this case?
No, ma'am.
Bullshit.
Now,
Bullshit.
based on testifying in
Bullshit.
this trial, are you hoping that your judge will reduce your sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Oh,
And you're aware that the state attorney's office can file.
okay. That's playing with semantics. Have you gotten anything is different than do you expect to get something? Yeah, she's playing. Sarah Palin's playing a little word game there. Yeah, he hasn't got anything yet, but he sure as hell is hoping that him ratting on an elderly gentleman in his cell will give him less time, presumably so he can go out and hammer time some other people.
A motion and ask your judge to reduce your sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, God.
Mr. Purify, has anybody promised you anything?
No, ma'am.
Have they strongly suggested that this is very, very likely to happen if you testify?
Mr. Purify, do you know this defendant seated over here, Donald Wayne Hartung?
Yes, ma'am. Correct. I do know him.
Okay. And when did you first meet Mr. Hartung, the year and date, if you recall?
Probably about March, the end of March of 2016.
When he became my prison bitch.
And is that around the date that you were arrested for your hammer charge?
Yeah, about February. I was arrested in February for that charge.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am. Around that date.
Now, were you housed with Mr. Hartung at the Escambia County Jail?
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say housed, what does that mean?
We was in the same
Doghouse.
pod together.
Okay. And what's a pod?
Like 24 people in the pod together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then within that pod,
You know what a pod is? A pod is something from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. A pod is something that they come out of the pods and they infiltrate the human host, and it turns the human host into another evil thing that hunts down other human hosts. And what the victim of a pod attack looks like is, those of you with earphones, plug your ears. This is a warning to people with earplugs, with your earbuds in. This is what happens when you are in the same pod as a monster. Right there, that's one of the greatest scenes in film history. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's what happens when you're in the same pod as a monster.
Are there different cells?
Yes, ma'am. It's 12 different cells.
Okay. Now, were you in the same cell as Mr. Hartung?
No, ma'am.
Okay. But could you go to each other's cells?
Yeah, I slept on top. He slept on top.
Oh, you're a top, huh? Hartung's the bottom. Cool.
Did you, while you were in the same pod, did you and Mr. Hartung start talking to one another?
Yes, ma'am.
And what types of things did you talk about at first?
We talk about football. He liked Alabama, I like Florida State.
Okay. And did you talk to Mr. Hartung on a regular basis?
Yeah, all the time.
And when you say,
now, I'm not going to call him a liar. Let's just say, I personally, in my worldview, however correct or incorrect that may be, can't see any scenario in which large 45-year-old black man in prison for attempting to hammer someone to death would just spend lots and lots of time talking with an elderly man who's a possible witch in his cell. I don't see any scenario in which these two would ever communicate with each other in prison. Call me a little more than this much skeptical. He was talking about football. Yeah, because the Hartung clan and they're big Alabama fans.
all the time, like in a week, how many times would you speak with Mr. Hartung?
Well, I come down in a week's time, probably about 5-6 times. He always send people for me and stuff.
I'm sorry?
He always send people for me.
What do you mean he'd send people for
like,
you?
you know, saying because send time to my room. I might be in my room asleep or something. He'll send somebody down there to get me and stuff.
Okay. So he would send somebody to come get you,
correct,
and then you would go to his cell?
Yes, ma'am.
Live together in perfect
Now,
harmony. In a prison
did he
cell.
ever go to your cell?
No, he never went to my cell.
Okay, always his?
Always here.
Why was that?
Because people were scared of him.
Oh.
My cellar was scared of him too.
Okay. All right. Let's just put these two side by side for a minute, shall we? Who are you going to be most scared of? Attempted hammer murder guy or Dracula? He was scared. He was scared. But again, some people tend to be more superstitious than others.
Why?
They thought he was a witch.
Now we're getting to the witch testimony. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The witchcraft has entered the building. Other than the interior of his house, this is the first time anyone has uttered the word witch. And why is this guy wearing 2 t-shirts? Must be cold in Florida. Elsie Merritt, I agree. Being the South, if Hartung spoke to this witness about his robes and books and about burning things, it would get misinterpreted really quick. That is true. Oh no. I knew he was going to say that. Yeah. I'm real skeptical of this guy. If you can't tell. Elsie, no.
You're right.
Now, did you tell Mr. Hartung why you were in jail?
Yeah, correct, ma'am.
And did you, at some point, did you start talking to him about your case?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Did you also discuss religion with Mr. Hartung?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what was the nature of your conversations?
We talk about voodoo, Wicca, and stuff like that. He believed in Wicca, and I told him I believe in voodoo.
Oh, okay.
Now, did you actually believe in voodoo?
No, ma'am.
He believed in witchcraft. I believed in voodoo. Did you believe in voodoo? No, ma'am. I think he may have contradicted himself right there. The voodoo that you do what? Remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power of voodoo. Anyway, which I'm sorry, that's one of the few cases. David Bowie singing that song is better than the original. Anywho. Wicca versus voodoo. Like, yeah, if Wicca and voodoo got in a prison fight, who would win? That's what we're looking at here. Who would win a voodoo witchcraft fight in prison?
About voodoo, Wicca, and stuff like that. He believed in Wicca, and I told him I believe in voodoo.
I told him I believed in voodoo. I lied.
Now, did you actually believe in voodoo?
No, ma'am.
Oh, so you lied.
Say the question over.
Isn't it true in this case?
I mean, intercourse.
Now, based on testifying in this trial, are you hoping that your judge
We talk about football. He liked
religion with Mr. Hartung?
All right, we'll just start playing here. Yeah, it's like Magic the Gathering. Yeah, like the original is okay. The original is great, but David Bowie's was amazing. It's one of the very few times that the remakes are better than the original.
Did he ever go to your cell?
No, he never went to my cell.
Okay, always his.
We'll just watch it from here so I don't screw it up.
People were scared of him.
Oh.
My cellar was scared of him too.
Why?
They thought he was a witch.
He did. He just admitted to lying, right? Oh man, we don't have to watch.
Now, did you tell Mr. Hartung why you were in jail?
Yeah, correct, ma'am.
And did you, at some point, did you start talking to him about your case?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Did you also discuss religion with Mr. Hartung?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what was the nature of your conversations?
We talk about voodoo, Wicca, and stuff like that. He believed in Wicca, and I told him I believe in voodoo.
Now, did you actually believe in voodoo?
No, ma'am.
Why did you tell? Well, why did you tell him that?
I just told him that, you know what I'm saying, because just hear him talk, you know what I'm saying, make him comfortable for us, like.
Oh, so you were setting him up.
Did,
I said it just to let him talk, to make him comfortable. So like that was his grand plan, was to get all up in his shit, get all up in his papers, get all up in his charges and suck some information out of him so that he could flip him and get a deal. Yeah. You got played, Hartung. I got to tell you that. Now I'm starting to believe this guy now. He just admitted to trying to get all up in his paperwork, find out what he's in there for, make him comfortable, get him talking so that he can say, hey, drop a dime on his ass and go, hey, cops, hey, jail people, hey, prosecutors, I got something you can use. Let's make a deal. I'll take what's behind door number 1, please. Yeah, I'm starting to believe this guy now. I never thought I would say that, but he very quickly flipped me. Yeah, I just wanted to make him comfortable so he'd keep on talking, get all up in his shit. Yeah.
Mr. Hartung give you a list of some like Wiccan books or something?
Yes, he gave me some books to look at and stuff, the order and stuff.
Okay.
He tried to get me. Oh, okay.
Bitch snitch. Snitches get a witch's curse.
Mr. Purefoy, I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit.
I told you his name was Malfoy.
26. Just take a look at it and see if you recognize it.
He turned me into a newt. Got better.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a list of books and information that Mr. Hartung gave you?
Correct, ma'am.
And is that his handwriting on there?
Correct. That's his handwriting.
How do you know? Oh, whatever. Now he's a handwriting analyst.
Judge, at this time I would move States 376 into evidence.
Any objection?
Give me the Dianetics.
Was Mr. Hartung like trying to get you to join?
The greatest, the most popular witchcraft book of all time.
Now, did Mr. Hartung start talking to you about this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you and Mr. Hartung would have these conversations, was anyone else around?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Purefoy, did you ever see any paperwork that Mr. Hartung
I
had?
never seen Mr. Hartung paperwork or nothing.
Or nuttin'.
Are
you saw Hartung nuttin'? Ew. Yeah.
Phrasing.
Now, seeing his paperwork and hearing what he's in for, different animals that can get you to the same conclusion.
Are you able to watch any kind of CDs or DVDs in jail?
No, ma'am.
Did Mr. Hartung leave his cell much that you saw?
He never left his cell. Only time he left his cell to go get his trays and stuff. And that take like lunch trays and dinner trays and breakfast trays. That's it.
Okay, so you would see him leave to go get food?
Yeah, he'll come downstairs and that take like 2 or 3 minutes to get.
Okay. What about for showers?
Oh, he never took a shower.
What about going to medical?
I ain't never seen him go to medical.
What about if he would have to go to court?
I don't know if he went to court when I was over there. I can't recall that.
Okay. If he did go to court, is there a way to lock the door?
Yeah, the seals, they lock the door.
Okay. I want to talk to you first about any relationships that Mr. Hartung may have talked to you about with his family, okay?
Okay.
Did Mr. Hartung tell you if he had any children?
Yeah, he said he had one child, a son.
And did he tell you anything personal about his son?
Yeah, he said his son got molested when he was 3 years old by his brother, John.
Okay. Now that's interesting. John is one of the people he killed. So he's saying that his son was molested by his half brother, who is now a dead half brother. And in case someone mentioned the full moon, this did happen. This is again why they're saying it was witchcraft motivated, because the murders apparently happened on a blue moon, which is a strong ritual night for Wiccan.
And did Mr. Hartung tell you what, if anything, came of that?
Yeah, what if anything?
He told his mother about when his son got molested. His mother said she didn't believe it, and she said John was special. And said that made him mad right there. He started like hating his mom and stuff behind that.
Did he tell you anything about what his relationship was like with his mother?
He said he hated his mother because the way she treated him different from the other boys.
Did he say why?
And they had different daddies.
They had different daddies. I read your chakra.
Any other reasons he was upset with his mom?
Yeah, and she left him out the will. That really made him mad, he said.
And what about Mr. Hartung's son? About the will?
Oh, she left him out too. That made him mad.
Did he tell you, I guess his mom told him that he was out of the will?
Yeah, he said his mama told him back in 2012 that he was out the will, him and his son.
Now, did Mr. Hartung say anything about what his relationship was like with John?
He said he didn't really like John like that.
Why was that?
By his son getting molested.
And did he say anything about what his relationship was like with his other brother, Richard?
He said him and Richard was all right.
All right, we've got some things happening here. Tammy Fayette just chimed me $5. So there we go. Cool. Thank you muchly for that. Now I got to figure out how to get chime. All right, we can do that. Thank you so much, Tammy Fayette, for the $5. Deeply appreciated. After I finish tonight, I'll have to figure out how to claim that. I've never received a chime payment before. Thank you, Tammy Fayette. YouTube gets nothing. Ha 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 ha. My Venmo didn't work. Really, that's odd. Ben just friended me on Venmo, so interesting.
Did there come a time when Mr. Hartung talked about the murder of his family?
Yeah, he told me.
Okay. And did he tell you who killed his mother and two brothers?
He said he killed them.
Oh, he did he?
Did he tell you why?
He said he wanted the money because she left him out the will.
And rightfully so, Nicola. You should be pissed off that you're sexy.
Okay, so
Ben, tell Tammy how to find me.
His mom. Why not just kill his mom? Why the two brothers?
Because the money would go to the brothers because he was never in the will.
Okay, so the theory elicited. No one else that the prosecution can call can testify to this. So, prison snitch got him to just completely open up and say, yes, I did in fact murder my family, my entire family, because my special brother molested my son and mom didn't believe me. And then mom wrote me out of the will. So if I only killed mom and the other guy, then the other brother would get it. So I had no choice but to kill everybody in the family. All right. Are you convinced? It makes sense. But on the off chance this actually happened, people, if you ever find yourself in prison, don't be like Donald. Don't be like Hartung. Don't tell people your business. Don't admit to crimes. Yeah. This doesn't rise to the level of Zachariah Anderson's Sally Munch, but it's coming close.
Did Mr. Hartung tell you if his family had money?
Yep.
Okay, what did he tell you?
He told me the brothers' granddad had worked at Goodyear, and you know what I'm saying, and the granddad left them a lot of money, left the daddy a lot of money. When the daddy passed, the sons them got the money and stuff.
Okay.
Just about dropped my cigar.
Did he say how he found out that his family had money?
From his mama telling him.
Now, did he tell you if the murders was it just something that kind of happened, or was it something he'd been thinking about?
Well,
of course he thought about it.
Last 3 to 4 years, he said Ouija board made him go overboard though.
The what? I'm sorry.
A Ouija board.
What about a Ouija board?
He said that really made him do it, made him go overboard.
And they did find a Ouija board in his apartment. Like I said, he had all the witchcraft stuff. I would be hard pressed to think of a witchcraft thing he didn't have. I didn't mention that he had statues of Baphomet and everything like that there as well too.
Now, did he tell you any details about the day the murders actually happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what did he tell you?
No, he actually had a really elaborate.
Well, did he tell you when he went over there?
Yeah, he went on like 11 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. And do you know what day?
He said on a Tuesday. He always go there on a Tuesday.
He said he always goes there on a Tuesday?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And when he went over there on the Tuesday, did he tell you what he did?
Okay, so he first said when he went over there, he said he left his dog Xena because he know what he was going to do.
Maybe his dog's name is Xenu. Maybe he did give him Dianetics. His dog's name is Xenu.
So he left the dog over there. Then he went over there and cooked.
Okay. Did he tell you what he cooked?
He said he cooked chicken and corn. I think string beans or something like that, and biscuits.
And you got hungry, didn't you?
Okay. And after he cooked, did he tell you what he did?
Okay. He said he went and took some cameras down because his mother got hurt one time. She fell, and I guess the brother Richard had installed some cameras. He took them down.
Okay. All right. And did he say if the family ate or not?
Say it again? Yeah, they ate.
Okay. And then what happened after they ate?
He said he killed his brother after that, which is John.
I'm sorry?
He killed his brother, John.
Okay. Did he tell you how he killed his brother, John?
He said he hit him in the head from behind and cut his throat.
Did he tell you what he hit him with?
I think he said a hammer. I can't.
And that's how they bonded. He's like, damn, I tried and I didn't do it. You did it. You whack someone with a hammer. I envy you, is what he said. Oh no, this is bad. Are you dead? Are you dead, brother John?
Call.
And then did you say he slit his throat?
He says I cut his throat.
Cut his throat.
Yeah.
Did he tell you where John was when this happened?
He said it was like in a den watching TV.
Okay. Did he tell you what he did after he did that to John?
He went to his mother, then he tortured her so she can tell the combination for the safes and stuff.
He said he tortured her. I'm sorry?
He tortured her.
How?
He cut her left pinky finger so he can tell the combination for the safes and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. And did he say if he got the combinations to the safe?
Yeah, she told him what it was in a black purse.
Nice twisted logic. Silver and gold. Silver and
Okay.
gold.
And did he say what else he did to his mom?
Then he said he hit her in the head and slit her throat.
Did he say what he hit his mom in the head with?
No, he didn't. I can't recall. He just said he hit her in the head.
A ceramic goose, perchance?
Did he tell you where his mother was?
In the front room watching TV.
Okay. Well, while they're staring at each other, this would be a good time for a midstream grift here, I guess. We're 1 hour and 14 minutes into this. We currently have, for some reason, 250 people watching this trial. This is he put on a Steven Seagal album and blasted it. Dudes, that's not... Steven Seagal does have albums out. It's what's his band? It's like Steven Seagal and the and some stupid name for his band. But yeah, he plays really, really mediocre guitar and sings very poorly. But it does exist. Steven Seagal's album does exist. We've got 255 concurrent people here. We've got 255 people concurrently viewing and 251 likes. That's a good number. And our like and subscribe poll, 280 votes. 30 of you have cheated, even though it specifically says don't cheat there. Like, subscribe, and vote. If you haven't liked, please do. And if you haven't subscribed and you're wondering what the hell's going on, just go with the flow. We're going to watch this for another 45, 50 minutes, and then we're going to watch the opening statements in a new witchcraft trial that just started yesterday in Iowa. It's an Iowa witchcraft trial. Children of the Corn, I guess. I don't know. Oh, yeah. That's Betty Ross. It ain't good. It ain't pretty. Google it. It's there. Steven Seagal trained Anderson Silva single-handedly. When he actually fought Gracie, that's a good story. Apparently, Gracie said he shit himself. Gracie wrapped him up and Seagal shit himself, according to the story. I have to. I used to be like a huge Steven Seagal fan back in the Marked for Death and Out for Justice days, and then he became Fat Seagal, and now I just love deep diving stories about what a horrible human being he is. His Saturday Night Live stories are epic. His story about I think it was punching Rob Schneider. I think he punched, or no, it was James Franco that he punched him. Everybody hates Steven Seagal, and the stories are just epic. Just someday, if y'all get bored, deep dive some Steven Seagal stories on YouTube. They're hilarious. According to Nicola Maxwell, I got cooler because I know that Gracie made Seagal shit himself. If that's all it takes to make me cooler, I'm glad. Yeah, and LaBelle choked him out. It's like, yeah, nothing good ever happens with Seagal there. All right, but no, this is actually very, very interesting testimony. It sounds coached as hell to me, but it's putting the story together, and let's see if the jury eats it up. Nicola Maxwell, member for 6 months, says, "I love you, Jeff. You're very cool." Well, thank you very much, Nicola. I love you too. You're the best. Is he still a sheriff or whatever kind of police officer he's trying to be? Yeah, he was an honorary sheriff in Louisiana. Steven Seagal, lawman. That was one of the worst shows on television. All right, this is not a Steven Seagal stream. Let's get
okay. After he did this to his brother and his mom, did he say what he did?
He said he went in and got the stuff like money out of the safe and stuff in his mama's room.
He tortured his mother, chopped off her little finger so that she would tell him the code.
He said there was a safe in his mom's room.
Safe.
Yeah, in the closet. In her closet.
Did he say anything about Richard? What happened on that day?
He waited till Richard came home. And Richard, he said Richard always come through the back door, and he shot Richard. But he said it didn't kill him. It didn't kill him. So Richard put up a struggle.
Okay. And did he say anything else about Richard?
He said he cut Richard's throat and stuff. He said Richard put up a fight with him though.
Yes, he did get with Kelly LeBrock when she was smoking hot. Time has not been good to her.
Did he say anything about did he say why he had to use a gun?
He said Richard was big, like 300 pounds, and plus he's like worked for Homeland Security.
That's an IT guy. A 300-pound IT specialist with Homeland Security. So he had to use a gun. Just choke him with a chicken bone.
Other than the safe in the mother's room, did he tell you about any other safes?
Yeah, he told me about another safe too.
Okay, and what about that?
He said he got money out that safe.
Did he say where?
Steven Seagal and Van Damme should start by a bail bond agency, but they hate each other. Van Damme legitimately wants to fight him and kick his ass, and Seagal refuses.
That safe was?
No, he didn't really say what that safe was.
Now, did he tell you how he knew where the safes were in this house?
He said he always snoop around the house. He didn't know where it was.
Did you say he snooped around the house?
Yeah, he snooped around the house.
Well, why didn't he just chop
Like,
off
in
another
general?
finger and tell her where the safe was?
Just snoop around, like just look at stuff.
Okay. And when you say snooped around, was it just on this day or when he'd been over there previously?
California.
I mean, he'd been over there previously.
He snooped around.
He knew where everything was.
Now, did he tell you anything else that he may or may not have done with the bodies?
He told me that he put clothes on the body so they couldn't tell the time, the death of the time they got killed.
Okay. Did he tell you what kind of gun he used?
He didn't really say what kind. He had say the only thing he told me he had a silence on the gun so the neighbors couldn't hear.
Oh, well, that
he
would
didn't
certainly
tell you
explain
what
why nosy
caliber?
neighbor
Nah, he
didn't
tell me
hear
what
it.
caliber it was.
Did he tell you what he did with the gun?
No, he didn't tell me what he did.
Did he tell you what he was wearing or what he did with his clothes?
He said the clothes he was wearing, he put it all in the bag because it had blood on it and stuff. He said he had gloves and stuff on.
If he put his clothes in a bag, did he tell you he changed his clothes?
Yeah, he the clothes he came on. He said he came on with some shorts when he came over there.
Okay.
But he got in the clothes because he already had clothes over there.
He already had clothes at the house.
Yeah, he already had clothes at the house.
And did he tell you what he did with the clothes that had the blood on them?
He said he gave everything to a priest.
To a priest?
The money and stuff.
Did he tell you where the priest was?
He said on 9 Mile Road.
Not to be confused with 8 Mile Road, where Eminem lives. This is such cringe.
Did he tell
testimony.
you that law enforcement has searched his car or anything about his car?
Yeah, he said he searched his car.
Okay. And did he say if they found anything in it?
No, they didn't find nothing in there.
What? And did he say why?
Because he put everything in the bag, so nothing, you know what I'm saying, will leak out or nothing, like blood and stuff.
Now, did he tell you if he unlocked any doors, unlocked any gates, locked any doors, locked any gates, anything of that nature?
He said he unlocked his mama back gate, so it can make it like other people, somebody else did it.
Did he say abracadabra? I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out a fucking hammer and murder my family? Is that what he said?
Mr. Hartung tell you any kind of like defenses he was going to try to use?
Oh, he told me that he was going to try to use the defense force. Like his brother got in trouble at Walmart. John, he could say he was going to use that. John might molest a child at Walmart. And then he said Richard was messing with a married lady. He was going to use that so somebody could have killed Richard because he was messing with a married lady.
It's like everybody that did the Smiths did wrong to. Everybody just met on the same day and murdered them. I get it.
The power of Christ compels you.
And what about where Richard worked? Did he say anything about that?
Yeah, Homeland Security, you know what I'm saying?
Like
know what
maybe
I'm
it had
saying?
something to
Yeah,
do
we know
with-
what you're saying. Homeland Security.
He was going to use that for
Effing Homeland Security?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Do you remember when the month and year that you spoke with law enforcement?
I want to say about April, maybe May of 2016.
And then did you speak with him again about a month later in 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, after that, were you moved away from Mr.
Yeah, I was
Hartung?
moved away.
Okay. And then have you had any contact
I
with
had
him?
no contact with him.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you, Mr. Purefoy.
Okay.
Mr. Purefoy, you've been convicted of felonies, you said 6 or 7 times.
Okay, this is the first time we've seen this. Is this Lynette? Is this Lynette in Florida in her younger days as a stripper, preacher, prosecutor? Is this Lynette? I think it's Lynette. She didn't tell us she was also a prosecutor in addition to being a preacher and a stripper and a turtle rescuer.
And a conviction for a crime of dishonesty.
Yes, asked and answered.
In April of last year, do you remember giving a deposition?
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Jensen was there, and I was there, and Mr. Griffith was there.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was given at Graceville Correctional Facility.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were asked the question at that time, looking at page 4, line 25, you were asked the question at that time about how many convictions you have.
Yes, ma'am.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
No. Prosecutor by day, librarian by night.
Turn.
On Seagull's IMDb trivia page says, been there, done that with a $10 super chat. Enjoys eating cat feces. It does not say that. A practice he started when cast and crew of a low-budget film of his secretly mixed this with his meals every day during filming. I believe they probably did because literally nobody likes this man. Oh, no. Thank you, I guess. This guy's on the stand for an hour?
So when you were asked the question,
no,
how many convictions have you had? Your response was, I don't know, a couple of them, 3 of them.
He just said
correct?
6 or 7.
And would you agree that a couple or 3 is different than 6 or 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so clearly, according to the defense, you can't believe a word this guy's saying because he is now admitted to having more convictions than he did previously. He said he's a bigger piece of shit than he said during his deposition. So you can't believe a word he said. He's just admitted to 4 more felonies or 4 more crimes than he did previously.
And your either 6th or 7th is the one that you're currently serving a prison sentence for?
Correct, ma'am.
That's for attempted murder?
Yes, ma'am.
Asked and answered.
And that was for attacking someone with a hammer?
Asked and answered. Joe Kelly, just sit back and enjoy the ride. The guy's been accused of murdering his family with witchcraft and a hammer and a knife. And this guy's he's the prison bitch snitch.
And are you familiar with the term jumping on someone's case?
Yep, that's what
yes,
he.
ma'am.
Hell yeah, I'm familiar with it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm jumping all over his case. He admitted to it.
Can you explain what that means?
When people jump on people, some people tell people about their case and stuff, and they call the state attorney and tell them, you know what I'm saying, they know something about this case.
Yep. That's
Okay,
what you
so
did.
That's
why I believe him. I mean, it's his testimony. I'm conflicted, people. His testimony is bullshit. His of the highest order. But I also believe him because that's what you do. You jump on their case, you make them comfortable, you get them to tell you all the shit, and then you rat them out. So it's weird. I don't believe him, but I do.
That if I understood you right, you were saying that's when one person will say they've got information about a different person's case, and then they'll contact the state attorney.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is trying to get a benefit for themselves, correct?
Right.
So that's what you've done with Mr. Hartung's case.
No, I ain't jumping this case.
You lie. You just said you
I just
did.
like the way he said he did his mother. I got a close relationship with my mother and how he was telling me.
Okay, would you mind slowing down just a little bit?
I can't
would you
understand your
repeat that,
ethnic
please?
accent.
I say
Uh-oh,
the way he
he's
was telling me how he did his mother, it was sad. And I got a close relationship with my mama, you know what I'm saying? And I just like thought it was real wrong.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, God.
I'm gonna set the record straight.
Oh, don't do
He
that.
know he told me this.
Okay,
Release the hose.
I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
So just a few minutes ago, you testified that you're testifying today
30 years.
because you were getting a benefit on your case, correct?
No.
Right. Hoping to get a benefit.
Open. There you go. There you go, buddy.
And
Good word.
you actually also testified that you have gotten a benefit, correct?
No.
No, I haven't got a benefit. I got 30 years. It was a 30-year cap now.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
So in the past, other than this case, there was another incident where you jumped on someone's case, correct?
No, ma'am. I had a federal case.
Oh, we have seen, right. We have seen her before. I thought this was the first time we've seen her. Three Faces in a Hood says, Jeff, remember how mean she was to the crime scene tech. Wonder how hard she's going to go on him. We're already on cross-examination, and there's still like another 45 minutes to go in his testimony. So she's going to light his ass up. And for those of you who don't know or don't remember, the crime scene investigator, she admitted to, after this trial was over, she became addicted to opiates or like painkillers and things, and she was stealing stuff from the evidence room, from the infirmary. She was stealing drugs, and she lost her job, she lost her career, she got a conviction out of it, and she was crying on the stand about how bad it was that she did this and how remorseful she was and how she's turned her life around and how it all happened after this. But this mean bitch just drove her into the dirt. It was so petty. Yeah, exactly. Bush McFadden said she's kind of petty. She was incredibly petty and just brutal to this poor crime scene tech who has struggled, lost everything, and rebuilt her life. It was terrible. Yeah, that's right. We have seen her before.
In a federal case,
Co-defendants.
in a federal case, you agreed to testify against two of your co-defendants, correct?
Right.
And for that, your sentence was reduced by a number of years.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
So because you had done that was about 2004, and it worked for you then, you knew that you could get a similar benefit in state court, correct?
Not really.
You hoped. One for cats, two for more wine boxes. Which
So you were originally looking at a life sentence if you were sentenced under the sentencing guidelines for this attempted murder charge.
Yeah, if I went to trial, yes, ma'am. Correct.
And not even if you went to trial, just if you were sentenced under the sentencing guidelines and convicted as charged, you were looking at a mandatory life sentence.
Right.
Yes, that means going to trial, cow brain.
You were arrested on this case in February of 2016.
Right. Correct, ma'am.
You've been incarcerated since then?
Yes, ma'am.
You turned 42 in May of 2016 while this case was pending.
Right.
So?
Excuse me just.
I know who committed. Oh, she's crying. I know who committed the murders.
At this time, you are 45.
Possibly be. Was it? Oh, I don't know. Say it.
Correct, ma'am.
So meeting Mr. Hartung really changed your life, didn't it?
I didn't change my life. No, ma'am.
Not yet.
After
He's hoping it does.
your 42 years at the time and your 6 or 7 felony convictions and your crime of dishonesty You decided when you met Mr. Hartung, according to your testimony today, that you wanted to do the right thing because you think what he did was wrong.
Yeah, correct.
That is the stupidest answer. You jumped his case. You got all up in his shit.
And you did testify a few minutes ago that the agreement made for your current case, where your mandatory life sentence was reduced to a cap of 30, that was in exchange for your cooperation in this case, correct?
Correct.
You are not a nice
And in
person.
fact, you're hoping to get a further reduction in your sentence based on your testimony here today.
Yeah, correct.
And let me refer you.
627 felonies, 6 or 7. Chad, I love you guys. You guys are so fun. I like these chill streams where I can just interact with you people and chat more. This is fun. That's why we do these throwback Thursday trials. So we can look in depth, but we can also have a little more fun than normal.
Let me refer you back to the deposition that was taken in April. Page 14, line 24. And you were placed under oath at that deposition, correct?
Yeah, correct.
You were sworn to tell the truth?
Correct.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
No. Oh no, this trial's 5 years old. Well, 4 years old. But we're coming up on the murder-versary. 10 days from now is the murder-versary. July 28th of 2015. He knows. Great Success knows. He's just, Oh, wait. I took down the banner. Nope, that's Alec Baldwin. There we are. Throwback Thursday. There we go.
So in April of last year, at your deposition where you were sworn to tell the truth, you were asked the question, did you make any agreement through your attorney, Mr. Roberts, Ms. Shea, or with anybody else as to what type of sentence you would receive if you testified? And you said, no, sir. And then you were asked, are you hopeful of getting any kind of mitigation in the sentence? And you said, no, sir, I think it was wrong how I killed a 79-year-old mother. And today you testified that first, that with Ms. Jensen asking you the question, that you did get a benefit. And then you denied again when I
You get
asked
100
you the first
internet
time
points for that one.
You got a benefit.
Right.
And in the deposition under oath, you said that you did not get a benefit. But the fact is, you did get a benefit, correct?
No, it's 30 years.
Yes,
I'm
Alabama
calling it a
Rose. Correct.
Okay.
What's
Is
up, Rose?
30 years less than life?
30 years definitely life, but it's life. It's a life sentence.
I'm sorry?
30 years is a life sentence in state prison.
Well, at this point, if you were sentenced in 2016, you've already got several years credit. And at the time you were sentenced, you already had over 500 and some days for credit, correct?
Correct.
So before you met Mr. Hartung, you were sitting in jail, looking at a life sentence, spending the rest of your life in prison, right?
Right.
That was your situation. And at that time, you lived with your mama and your kids, right?
Right.
So you.
Oh, Tammy Fayette has sent $5 through Venmo saying, hey, Jeff, don't claim on Chime. Then it will come back to me. I'll just resend it here now. Appreciate you, Tammy. Thank you so much, Tammy Fayette. The Tammy Fayette ASMR is back on the menu. but I just choked on my cigar because JKDF Buck was making me laugh. So yeah, can't do. Oh my God, this guy's big in the background there. Jeez. I hope he's wearing like 5 bulletproof vests because he's just large. So yeah, the JKD Buck, he ruined my voice here for a minute. But anyway, Tammy Fayette, thank you for the $5 Venmo.
You were looking at never being able to go home to any of them.
Right.
In fact, you were going to die in prison.
Steve from Blues. Oh,
That
really?
was your
I didn't
life
know that.
In April of 2016.
Not really. It's cause they say
Okay, I'm not asking you a question.
Okay.
So your life in April of 2016 was you were looking at spending the rest of your life in prison, correct?
Right.
So when you met Mr. Hartung, your
Now, someone asked a very important question here. Cavitano Cavalryman Che says, is this lawyer related to Runkle? No, but depending if you know or not, it does look like Geddy Lee's sister. Could be related to Geddy Lee.
prospects for the future started looking brighter, didn't they?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Isn't it true that it was common knowledge around the jail and around the pod that Mr. Hartung was charged with three counts of murder?
Right.
Everyone knew that?
Yeah, a lot of people know it.
People talked about it?
Yeah, he talked about it.
Other inmates were talking about it?
Yeah.
In fact,
during the blue
sometimes
moon.
it was be on the news or in the papers, and other inmates would bring in information.
No, I ain't never seen him. He always said talk about his own case.
You started trying to basically court Mr. Hartung's trust and confidence.
Okay. Careful there. Don't say he was trying to court Donald Hartung. We've got to call a phrasing violation on you. Oh, I don't know why I did the Chewbacca. That was clearly the wrong button, wasn't it? I meant to do this one.
Hey, phrasing.
Sorry about the Chewbacca blast there, Bubba Gump.
Correct.
Nope.
Okay, you started talking to him.
That's why I talking to him.
Okay.
Started courting him.
And you started talking to him about, first it was about football.
Football.
Like you were just trying to be his friend.
He brought the football up and he asked what team I liked. I told him Florida State. He said he liked Alabama.
Roll Tide.
And then he started talking to you a little bit about Wicca.
Correct.
And you pretended to be interested in Wicca, correct? Just to get him to trust you and talk to you?
He was just saying stuff about Wicca. I ain't never really known about Wicca. And, I just like want to hear him talk. But stuff he was saying was like crazy to me.
Okay.
That's not what you said a minute ago. A minute ago under direct, you said you listened to him talk to make him comfortable.
Well, Mr. Hartung told you that he was a Wiccan, right?
Right.
And you didn't know what Wicca was.
I didn't know what it was.
They have a whole Wikipedia about it.
Then you told him that you were interested in Wicca.
Right.
Because you wanted to get him to talk to you, right?
Yeah, right.
And you weren't really interested in Wicca.
No, I'm interested in that.
So that was just a lie.
I'm interested. I just wanted to hear him talk.
You're not wrong, Franz.
Okay, so that was a lie, correct?
Right.
And it was a lie just to try to get him to talk.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Not really.
You said it was.
And you
Damn it,
told
I did it
Mr.
again.
Hartung that you practice voodoo.
Correct.
And you didn't practice voodoo, did you?
No.
You
No.
told him that just to get him to talk to you.
Let's talk about the Wicca stuff. Because we used to laugh at him.
Okay,
We
you
thought it
tell-
was funny. We
No.
thought it was funny where he used to run around telling people he was a witch and stuff.
Okay.
Dude, Dude, you're lying. You're contradicting your direct testimony. Your testimony on direct was you were scared of him, and everybody was scared of him, and your cellie was scared of him. Now you're laughing at him? Dude, you're lying. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying.
It wasn't my question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question was, you told him you practiced voodoo just to get him to talk to you. Is that right?
Not really.
Okay.
Now, Jim, you get 0 internet points if you're quoting Elvis Presley. But if you happen to be quoting the original singer of the song, Big Mama Thornton, then you get 1,000 internet points.
Okay. It was a lie, wasn't it? Did you practice voodoo at that time?
I didn't practice voodoo. I never do voodoo.
So if you told Mr. Hartung you practiced voodoo, that was a lie.
You said
he wasn't under oath. Doesn't really matter. What's up, my Wicca?
And that lying to Mr. Hartung, obviously that wasn't an honest thing to do, was it?
I won't call it lying to him.
That lying was not an honest thing to do. Are you listening to yourself, prosecutor? That lying was not an honest thing to do.
So you don't call it lying, even though you were not telling him the truth?
Don't call it lying.
So back to your plea agreement. So you have, in fact, benefited from coming forward in this case, correct?
No, not
I
yet.
don't call it benefit.
You're not serving a life sentence?
Well, you might well say 30 years of life sentence.
Okay. You're not serving a life sentence?
No,
Nice, nice Xterra bill. There you
got to
go.
do 25 years.
Okay.
Some night tripper
I'll ask
going.
you the questions.
I don't
and
have
then
life, no.
Danny on direct. What's up,
you
Danny?
to answer the questions I ask, okay?
Okay.
So you made a plea agreement with the prosecutor.
See, you do a show about witchcraft, and then the goddess shows up to boot people and to bless them and curse them as she sees fit. Danny on direct has entered the chat. She's answered the call. The voodoo Wicca goddess vibes are flowing through the atmosphere, and that it's summoned Danny, and she has appeared. Danny on direct is here. The goddess Lafrodite to bless and curse as she sees fit.
In your case. Is that right? Your attorney made a plea agreement on your behalf.
My attorney, you say so.
Well, was it you? Was it your attorney?
I guess I'm my attorney. It wasn't me.
So you were allowed to enter a plea with a maximum of 30 years instead of life.
Right.
Dude's 45. 30 years is a life sentence. Dude's
And
licking
of
his
that
chops. He's like,
30-year sentence,
delicious.
Are you hoping or expecting to get some gain time?
I'm going to object to it. This has been asked and answered.
Like 90 times.
So, Mr. Purifoy, you expect to get some gain time to reduce your sentence?
What you mean by gain time? You get gain time in prison.
Okay, gain time means your sentence gets reduced.
No, that ain't what gain time means. Gain time means
Ha ha ha. Little old white Getty Lee is trying to use some prison slang, trying to throw around the prison lingo. And that ain't what that means, little white woman. Let me educate you. But first, Duncan, Idaho with the $2. What's the hound count right now? Oh, God, I got to do math. 25, 35, 45. We are 65 away from Doggo Can.
You work in prison, you earn gain time.
You expect to get some gain time from your sentence?
Yeah, I expect to get gain time while I'm in prison, working in the kitchen or something. That ain't gain time.
Okay. Your
Among
sentence
other
is
things.
going to be reduced, correct?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I am so conflicted. This guy is clearly full of shit. He's like one of the worst prison snitches I've ever seen in my life. But somehow I'm compelled to argue on his behalf. The defense is so stupid. Help me out here, chat. I don't know how to feel about this. He's clearly lying, but parts of his story are probably accurate. And I should hate everything this prison snitch is doing, but I'm rooting for him because the prosecutor, the defense lawyer, is so stupid. I don't know what to do.
I am Dracula.
So we talked earlier about jumping on someone's case. And
it was Munch, not
you
Moose.
tried to get other people to jump on Mr. Hartung's case, didn't you?
No, correct. That's not true.
You spoke.
Why would he want to get other people to jump on Hartung's case? He wants to jump on his case so that he can get some benefit out of it. He doesn't want to spread the wealth. That would be dumb.
With Mr. Franklin Robinson.
Franklin Robinson, I don't know him.
Seriously? His release date is next year?
Dominique Warren.
I just know him, but in the pod, I never really talked to him.
Lamarcus Hickson.
I don't know him.
Kendrick Washington.
I was his roommate for about 2 or 3 days.
And you spoke to Mr. Washington and said that.
Objection, hearsay.
Hearsay, yep.
It's, yes, Your Honor.
Objection!
So, Mr. Purifoy, isn't it true that you spoke with Kendrick Washington about jumping on Mr. Hartung's case?
He asked me why I got moved, and I told him.
Okay. This is a yes or no answer.
Say it again.
This is a yes or no answer.
Say the question over.
Isn't it true that you...
Alabama, Rose. Hey, Rose, we're gonna watch the opening statements in that as soon as this guy gets off the stand in about 25 minutes. The new witchcraft. This is the new witchcraft case. The Iowa versus Daisy. That's going on right now. Today is day 2. We're gonna watch the opening statements, and then when this trial's over, we'll watch that trial because witchcraft.
You spoke with Kendrick Washington about jumping on Mr. Hartung's case.
Nah, I ain't speaking about jumping on his case. He asked me what I got moved for.
Makes sense, I guess.
You're familiar with the term discovery in a legal case?
Yep.
Nosy Rosie says, "Okay, stop with the ogre breathing." No, this is the zombie from Minecraft.
You're now in contempt of court.
Not that button. That's the wrong button. This one. That's the original Minecraft zombie noise.
And discovery is basically, it's got police reports and witness statements and various kinds of reports and information about someone's case, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So in discovery, the details about someone's charged offense are contained?
Yes, sometimes.
And generally, any statements made by witnesses are going to be part of discovery?
I guess so. I don't know.
Just like Scientology and another particular religion.
How about a
that I
DNA
know of.
report? That's usually part of discovery if there is one, right?
I think so.
So basically, discovery is the evidence that the state has against a particular defendant?
No. Right. No, it's not. It's the evidence they have to turn over to the other side.
Discovery by their attorneys?
Yep, sometimes.
Okay. Pretty much everybody got discovery, right?
Yeah,
they got evidence, not discovery.
Everybody else got discovery but you?
A lot of people don't get discovery.
Okay. Page 47. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
These two people are talking, but they don't seem to communicate.
Do you recall?
Danny on direct says, I don't know what this case is about. I'm here to say that satanic ritualistic abuse is real and obviously can be broken down into individual criminal acts. I'm not sure why society is so protective. We're here because the elderly zombie undead Dracula gentleman, Donald Hartung, is accused of murdering his 2 half-brothers and his mother in a ritualistic, witchcraftic manner.
Well, in the deposition that
But
took
yes, you
place
are
back
correct.
in April, you said everybody got discovery.
Right.
Remember that?
I remember.
And this is obviously our Blues Clues prison snitch, Bubba Gump.
And when an inmate is given discovery, that inmate has to keep it in a cell, right? When that inmate is in county jail?
Right.
Because the inmate has no other place to keep it, right?
Right. Correct.
Inmates don't have lockers in their cells.
No.
There's no secure place to lock up any kind of valuables or papers.
No. Just put it on your bed and stuff like that.
And isn't it true that sometimes inmates will look through another inmate's discovery?
I don't know that.
Oh, wait, I forgot about the $5 that Tammy Fayette
When
sent,
that
so
happens,
it's
isn't it
stay away
possible
from
that if
doggo.
one mate...
Yep. He did say he didn't know.
So, Mr. Purifoy, you're aware that Mr. Hartung had discovery?
Nope.
You don't know that he had any discovery?
Nope.
Ew. Oh, that's an early 2020 COVID case there in court.
About any paperwork at all?
Super
Does he
spreader.
have any paperwork in his cell?
I don't know, but he tried to show me something one time. I told him I don't want to see it. Some blood or something.
Okay.
Some blood. Dude, if he said, "Hey, let me show you my paperwork," you're not going to say no. You're going to jump all over that case. Come on, dude. This is why I'm so flustered with this guy. He's clearly full of shit. But I want to root for him, and I don't know why.
Page 47, line 4. May I approach the witness, Your Honor? Yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Big Blue House. Door is open. Come on in. I've got all of my son's childhood TV shows going through my head. Blue's Clues, The Bear in the Big Blue House, Bob the Builder. Yes, we can. Oh, God. Well, apparently he had a dog named Xenu, the defendant. It may have been Xena, but I want to believe it's Xenu.
So when you were asked the question in the deposition this past April of did Mr. Hartung spend a lot of time looking through his discovery, your response was, well, I wouldn't know. I know people come in that room. Well, he don't let nobody touch his paperwork.
Oh, right. Between the Lions. He liked that, too.
So you did, in fact,
Read
know that
Between
Mr.
the
Hartung had
Lions.
some paperwork in his cell.
Yeah, I know he had paperwork, but I don't know what discovery and all this stuff. I never looked at it.
And you testified a few minutes ago, or a little while ago, that Mr. Hartung would leave his cell to get food. You said he never went to medical. And you testified that the door was locked if an inmate went to court.
It's the cult of Zumba.
Okay. And you know Mr. Hartung had court dates that would come up periodically, correct?
No, I don't know that. When I was in there, I don't think he never went to court.
He never went to court?
Can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, isn't it true that the way the county jail is, where you were housed and where Mr. Hartung was housed, there are 2 inmates to each cell, right?
Right.
Sometimes even 3.
Right.
Right. So when one of those inmates in the cell goes to court, but the other inmate does not, they do not lock the cell, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's going to put the Mechalika Heiny Ho curse on him.
That Mr. Hartung had, he was very protective of, correct?
I guess so.
No, Barney was banned in my house.
He didn't normally let other people look at it?
Yeah, Barney was banned.
I don't know.
I wake up and check in just in time to hear Bear in the Big Blue House karaoke. I'm going back to bed. Where, oh, where, oh, where is Shadow?
A few minutes ago,
where, oh, where, oh, where
you agreed
is
that you
Shadow?
said in the deposition in April, he don't let nobody touch his paperwork.
Right.
Right? So he was protective of his paperwork, correct?
Right. A lot of everybody in the county jail who get paperwork, they protected their paperwork, not just him.
Because of people like you, right? Yeah.
Do you recall giving an interview to
Witchcraft Today?
Mr. Wright from the state attorney's office, Matt Infinger, and your attorney back on May 4th of 2016?
Yeah, I think so.
And do you recall at that time using the expression, he guards his paperwork like a dog? You recall that?
I think so.
Like a dog?
It's been a while, like 3 years ago. Come on, 4 years ago then.
Do you recall in
Wow, it's kind of like Elmo, except
April
Elmo didn't
of
become a sex counselor. He became a sex
2016.
offender.
you sent a note to the state attorney's office?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but to be fair, the Elmo puppeteer was cleared of underage sex abuse charges. So, just saying, he was cleared. Nothing. He was accused and cleared of bad things.
May I fix the witness, Your Honor? Yes, I'm showing you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 22. Do you recognize this?
Yeah, the Elmo puppeteer on appeal. He had 3 of his bad charges thrown out because statute of limitations had expired.
Judge, I would move to admit Defendant's Exhibit 22.
We provided it to the defense judge. No objection.
So, Mr. Purifoy, you sent a note to the state attorney's office in April of 2016.
Correct.
And in that note, you said, "Dear State Attorney, I have all the detail about Donald Wayne Hartung, about how he murdered his family and why, how, killed all of them, what he did with. I know what day he did and time left, how he killed brother last when he came home, how got them their money in the safes, how did his mother, what he took from her. I'd be willing to testify for the state. If need. Am in the same cell with him. He told everything." And then you signed it, Marlon Purifoy, come ASAP, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And then below that, you wrote, "I have detail about Donald Wayne Hartung case. He told me his motive to," and then it's scratched out. And then we have the envelope here that you pushed, that you put the note in, which I showed you.
You
just a
pushed the
moment ago,
envelope,
correct?
is what he's
Correct,
saying.
ma'am.
And that's part of the same exhibit. And it has your name in the upper left-hand corner and your return address, which is the Escambia County Jail.
Correct, ma'am.
And it's addressed to the head state attorney.
Correct.
Now, let's talk for a minute about how the Escambia County Jail is laid out. There are pods and there are cells, correct?
Correct.
And a pod has about, 12 cells in it?
Correct.
And then each cell has generally 2 inmates in it?
Correct.
So a pod and a cell are not the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing.
There's cells in a
So
pod.
in this
Come on,
note,
get with the program.
When you wrote to the head state attorney and said that you're in the same cell with Mr. Hartung, that was a lie, wasn't it?
No, in prison term, you can say cells and stuff. It can be like dorms and stuff. You can say what cell you in.
Like
You
cell
say,
block.
cell 1, stuff like that.
Well, in fact, you were not in the same cell with Mr. Hartung.
We the same
correct?
pod,
You were in the same pod,
Right.
but not the same cell.
not the same cell.
You're reaching. He meant cell block, not actual cell.
So after you sent this note to the state attorney in April of 2016, you had a meeting on May 4th.
I can't recall the date.
Does that sound about the right
Right.
general time frame?
Right, something like that.
So at that meeting, you were there, your attorney was there, and Wainwright was there, and Matt Infinger was there.
Right.
So you told them at that time some things that you said you'd learned from Mr. Hartung, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And that interview lasted about 27 minutes.
I think so, about 30 minutes like that.
And after that interview, you didn't receive any plea offers with a reduced sentence, did you?
Nope.
So then on June 17th, 2016, you communicated through your attorney that you had some new information about Mr. Hartung. didn't you?
Oh, new information.
I think
All
so.
right.
So saying you had some new or more information got you a second meeting, correct?
Right.
So the same 3 people were there as the ones who were at your first meeting,
Yeah, I can't recall. I think so.
and that one lasted about 10 minutes?
I can't recall.
And a little while ago, when Miss Jensen was talking to you, you said that Mr. Hartung had said he killed him for the money,
Right, correct.
correct? But you also said he was mad at his mom because his mom didn't believe him about John molesting Mr. Hartung's son.
Right. His mother got mad. He got mad because when the son told him, he told the mother, and the mother didn't believe him.
So then you also said that Mr. Hartung was mad at John for molesting Mr. Hartung's son, correct?
Yeah, he's mad at his brother, molesting his son, messing with his son.
But not mad at Richard.
I was mad at Richard.
So, and then you also said that the Ouija board made him do it.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the motive was either money or it was that he was mad at his mom and his brother, or it was because the Ouija board told him to do it. That's your testimony?
No, it was about the money because he always liked to brag. Like he's going to go to Miami and stuff, hang out with some girls and stuff.
Oh, no. That's not an image I want in my
But from what
head.
you testified to, there were 3 different motives.
He said the Ouija board like took him over the edge to go ahead and do it.
That's why you're the judge and I'm the law talking guy. Lawyer. Right.
And you testified earlier that Mr. Hartung was angry because his mother had written Mr. Hartung's son out of the will.
No, written both of them out of the will, him and his son.
Okay. Do you recall this interview that you gave on May 4th
Right.
in 2016?
Mhm.
And at that time, you said he was, in your words, really pissed because his mother wrote Don Jr. out of the will.
Yeah, it was both of them though.
Okay, but that's not what you said in that first interview, correct?
I can't recall.
Oh, that's interesting. That was in the defense's opening statements, that the prosecution put forward the idea that the motivation for the murder was he'd been written out of the will. I'm not sure so how killing everybody helps his case, but yeah, they said he was mad for writing him out of the will, but the defense said that it said to Donald Hartung Jr. in the will, not Donald Hartung, the defendant. So they said, no, he wasn't written out of the will, so he wouldn't have the anger for that. It was his son that was written out of the will. But then the prosecution said, oh, it was a typo. It meant him, not Junior. Interesting. Okay, so they are connected. As weird as she is, they are connecting their questions to their opening statement. So kudos for that, I suppose.
It's been like 4 years ago.
Well, did the truth change?
I'm just going by what he told me. He told me this stuff.
Earlier today, you testified that Mr. Hartung said he went over to his mom's house on July 28th about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, about something like that.
Okay.
He said he went early over there, as usual.
And do you recall being asked the question in the deposition?
Oh, Duncan, Idaho, with the $5 a while ago, so about 5 minutes ago. I think we're watching his eyes get closer together in real time here. Okay. Thanks.
About what time Mr. Hartung had supposedly said he went over there?
Right.
Page 17, line 25. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yeah. There's a lot of the tick spoon. Is that Teller? Is this Judge Teller presiding?
So in the deposition, when you were asked the question, just walk me through from the beginning. You started and said, you say you went over there about 12 o'clock or 12:30.
Right.
Okay. And today you said 11 o'clock.
Right. He told me he went early, as usual.
Oh, Captain Caveman was awesome. That's funny.
You testified a little while ago that Mr. Hartung had gotten the combination to a safe out of a black purse.
Correct.
And do you recall in that interview on May 4th of 2016, you said he got it out of an old purse?
His prison purse.
Black, old.
And do you recall on your second interview, from June 17th, 2016, you said he didn't describe the purse?
He told me black purse.
But you recall that you said he didn't describe the purse in June.
I can't remember, man. That's been a while ago. I just know he said a black purse. Me and him talk about a lot of stuff.
And when did Mr. Hartung supposedly tell you that he went
5
to
more
look
minutes,
through the
people.
safe in the floor?
Only 5 more
After
minutes.
he killed his mother.
That was the first thing he did.
Yeah, he went to the safe and get the money and stuff and jewelry and stuff.
And how much money did Mr. Hartung supposedly tell you he got out of the safe?
I know he said like a couple $100,000, maybe 300,000. He said a lot of money.
What?
And do you recall your interview from June 17th, 2016? You said he took almost $500,000 out of that safe.
Right.
And today your testimony is a couple $100,000, maybe three.
He said hundreds of $1,000. So I don't know. He said a lot of money.
And today your testimony is he got 300,000?
400,000. He just kept telling me a lot of money. He said different things, you know what I'm saying? I just go by what he said.
You testified a few minutes ago that Mr. Hartung told you that he gave the money he got to a high priest.
Yeah, to a priest.
Okay. And he gave all the money or some of the money?
Gave juries and stuff like that to him.
Okay, and as I said, I don't know anything about the outcome of this case. It's still a mystery to me, so no spoilers in chat if you happen to know how this ended. But I said, when we started this, I said, the one thing I do know is that apparently a Wiccan high priest is called at some point as a witness. I wonder if it's going to be the high priest that he allegedly gave all this money to. Interesting. Things are coming together finally.
All the money or some of the money?
I can't know. I'm just going by what he said. He said he gave the money to him.
Well, I'm asking you what he said.
He said he gave most. I guess he said all. He said he gave the money to him.
And this was a high priest who had some kind of a church on 9 Mile Road?
Correct.
And this was a high priest who rode a Harley Davidson?
Correct.
That's my kind of Wiccan high priest that rides a Harley. Cool. It better have skulls on it.
Do you know how long Mr. Hartung was in jail when you first met him?
He stayed there for a while, like a couple months, like 7 or 8 months.
And do you know how long he's been in jail since you had talked to him last?
A couple of months, for 5 years.
Years?
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
That's all my questions.
Oh, thank God.
You redirect?
Yep. He's got a couple of minutes of redirect. Ghost Rider was awesome. Ghost Rider 2 sucked. But Ghost Rider was awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hartung may have had some paperwork in his cell, correct?
Right.
Do you know if it was even about his case?
Yeah, I don't know if it's about his case or not.
Okay. Now, all the times that he called you to his cell,
Right.
did you read any discovery paperwork, anything?
I never read none of his paperwork.
I was just
go by
there for the
everything
loving.
he told me. That's it.
Okay. And whatever paperwork he may have had, you don't even know what it was.
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Correct.
Guy in the lime shirt is melting as we watch.
Now, Miss Wilson was asking you about this.
All right. Right there. We're talking Sea Winterstorm, Battle of the Planets. That was my gig. That was my thing every day in middle school. Come home, whip up a thing of cup ramen, sit down and watch Battle of the Planets. Yeah. that's what we're Battle of the Planets. That was the OG anime shit. That was awesome. And if you wonder about whether or not I like Star Blazers, you should ask Flux. Flux knows how much I like Star Blazers. Flux does a Minecraft morning, and I had Flux's wife, Mrs. Flux, build me a gigantic floating battleship Yamato. So if you go on Flux, House of Flux is her channel. If you go on House of Flux's stream and watch her Minecraft mornings, you might catch a glimpse of my gigantic floating battleship Yamato from Star Blazers. That's how much of a Star Blazers fan I am.
Voodoo talk.
Right.
Do you remember her asking you about that?
Right.
Okay. Now, you also said that you thought the Wiccan stuff was crazy.
Right.
Were you telling Mr. Hartung that you believed in voodoo to get him to talk about Wicca.
Right.
Was it interesting to you?
Yeah, it was like interesting and funny too. What we were talking, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was after she killed me.
Now you said that
I don't
got a
have the
cap
I don't have the
on your
figure.
attempted murder case, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did your judge know? Was your judge made aware that you were cooperating in this case?
Right.
Okay. He still gave you 30 years.
He still gave me 30 years.
Okay. And you are 45 years old today, correct?
Yeah, 46 in May. I'll be 46 in May.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you did
but-
not think that 30 years was
here it
best.
is. Yeah, she.
Right.
As Winter Storm says, it was called the Argo.
And you don't know
the
today
American
whether
version.
that same judge is going to reduce your sentence or not.
No, I don't know because I ain't been promised that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you're close to your mom, correct?
Yeah, real close.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Hartung told you what he did to his mom, did that bother you?
Yeah, it bothered me when he said.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that is the end. That is the end of our prison snitch. That's the end of the prison snitch. And at the beginning of prison snitch, for some reason, we got off on a Steven Seagal kick. And for those of you who don't know, this is a bit of Steven.
I won't wake up in the morning, I will leave out dust my broom.
There's a little Steven Seagal for you.
Well, I wake up in the morning,
Doing a little Robert Johnson Dust My Broom cover.
I'm gonna put the gal I'm loving while my friend will have my room.
There's a little Steven Seagal dusting your broom. An old Robert Johnson classic. All right. Yes, Jim, that was him acting like a blues guitarist. That was, and it was just as good as his other acting is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Battleship Yamato was the original Japanese version, and then it became Star Blazers in the U.S. and they changed the Yamato to the Argo. But yeah. So Flux over in her Minecraft world has built me a giant star, the star battleship Yamato that's hovering above her planet. So that is the end of this edition of the Witchcraft trial. We've got a few more weeks left. We've probably got another 3 weeks left, and then we'll be done. And then we will pick up the new Witchcraft case that just started yesterday. The new Witchcraft trial is called the Mom Witchcraft Murder Trial, Iowa v. Tyler Daisy. And just to give you a little taste of that, a little preview, we're going to watch the opening statements here now. There are some audio issues. Apparently, for some reason, the prosecutor was using a voice-activated mic, so the first little bits of just about everything he says is clipped. Yeah, Battle of the Planets, also known as G-Force. Yes, exactly. G-Force was the colloquial name for Battle of the Planets. The show was called Battle of the Planets, but everybody just called it G-Force. Right. And I used to draw the Phoenix all the time in art class. And Mrs. Flux built it. Just watched. All right, so let's bring up the new Witchcraft trial, and we can compare and contrast the two Witchcraft murder trials. And this is the one we're going to start after. But unlike this, the defendant is not the one who's charged with being a witch. It's he killed his mother because she was a witch. That's the idea here in this case. Let's get here until we get some audio.
3723 trial information. Lassance, as prosecuting attorneys of Dubuque County, state of Iowa.
Let me boost this
and
up.
in the name and by the authority of the state of Iowa, accuses Tyler J. Daisy.
These are the charges.
Of the crimes of count 1, murder in the first degree. Count 2, animal abuse, committed as follows. Count 1,
Yeah,
Said
animal abuse
defendant
because he killed a dog.
On or about the 18th
Allegedly.
day of January in Dubuque County, Iowa, while having malice aforethought, did willfully,
Why does the volume
deliberately,
keep going down?
and with premeditation kill Jennifer Daisy, all in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.1 and 707.2, sub 1, sub A.
Shut up. Boober says this judge was my divorce attorney. Shut up. Really? Seriously? You're lying, right? No way. Well, that's cool if you're not. All right. That's pretty sweet.
Count 2. Said defendant on or about the 18th day of January 2024 in Dubuque County, Iowa, did intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly inflict injury, serious injury, or death of an animal by force or violence, resulting in death to the animal, all in violation of Iowa Code Section 717B.2, sub 1, and 717B.2, sub 4. A true information, signed Scott J. Nelson and Amanda J. Wasantz. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty.
And Ms. Lasantz, whenever you're ready for opening statement, go right ahead.
Okay.
Okay, the common ground here is both prosecutors are ceaselessly wiping their noses.
May it please the court, counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I don't know why they're using a voice activated microphone, but they are. It's kind of annoying.
Published prosecution judge.
I don't know what the breed of dog was, but I'm sure we'll find out.
And just for the record, the state has talked to us about this prior.
This is the defense attorney
to doing this, and we don't have any objection.
Okay.
I know nothing about this. I just know it's a witchcraft trial, and that he killed his mother allegedly because she was a witch. Allegedly.
This is Jennifer and Echo Daisy. They are enjoying a vacation together,
Pug,
relaxing, enjoying the water, not a care in the world. Jennifer Daisy was 46 years old. Her companion, Echo, was still
Oh, it's a doodle.
Just a few months old when this picture was taken.
It looks like a doodle.
Jenny,
it's a labradoodle.
Was taken, and that was to make it to all 50 states before she turned 50 years old. She wanted to complete that task with Echo by her side.
As I said, the audio really sucks for the first part.
Were cut short on January 18, 2024, and the evidence will show that Tyler Daisy, the defendant, is responsible for both their deaths.
No, Danielle, the dog is not okay. He's charged with killing the dog.
Many years. She and Jenny met several years ago and became quick friends, best friends. Over the years, they fell in and out of contact, like friends do, but some health problems brought them closer together, and in September 2023, they were back, best friends. In September, Jenny was to have surgery, and Christy was always there for appointments and her care schedule.
No, Mary Jane, this is not an animal case. This is a human case. This is a human murder case. He allegedly killed his mother, and allegedly killed the dog as a bonus.
Around that same time, Jenny's son, the defendant, moved in with her at 1605 Avoca Street. Avoca Street is that neighborhood in town tucked right between Senior High School and University Avenue by Westminster Church and the Hardys that just got torn down, cut through neighborhood. That's where 1605 Avoca Street is. During Jenny's recovery from that surgery, Christy was at 1605 Avoca Street often. She got to know the defendant better during this time, as the defendant and Jenny were home together quite often. She will tell you about how Jenny would nag the defendant, how Jenny would do things that upset him, and he would call her nasty names. But otherwise, everything seemed okay. Christy was arrested until her own words came about the surgery schedule in December. Jenny or the defendant regularly during her recovery, though Jenny did come over to her house. On January
The audio gets better later, I promise.
17, 2024, Christy was ready to get back into her routine and see her friend. So they made a coffee date for the next morning. The next day, on January 18th, Christy showed up late with coffee creamer in tow around 8:30 a.m. She goes into the porch and lets herself in the front door. She doesn't even get in when she sees the living room right between that separates the living room from the dining room.
It gets better. Bear with us.
He is naked and he is turned away from her.
Yeah, he was naked. He was naked when he offed his mom and the dog. Ugh.
Wasn't expecting this, so she closes the door and waits until she hears a door close. At this point, Christy will tell you that she doesn't think anything odd is going on.
Iowa.
She had seen a red truck in the driveway, a truck she knew to belong to Jenny's son, Nick, but she didn't see Jenny's car in the driveway. Maybe Jenny had left, maybe picked up some coffee to bring to them or something, and the defendant didn't know that Christy was coming over. She went ahead and went in the house. When she thought the defendant was no longer in the living room, she sets the creamer down on an end table by the couch, and she thinks, I'll just sit down and wait. Well, she goes to sit, and on the corner of the couch, she sees Echo, the dog. He's still not moving, and that's weird to her because he normally would greet someone who comes. So she goes over to him, she lifts up a leg, and it drops. She now knows something has happened to Echo. So she starts to wonder what's going on here. Nick's car's here. Did Nick and Jenny go get help for Echo? Looks around, tries to contact Jenny on her cell phone when she sees Jenny's purse in the corner. Now she says, that's weird. Jenny would take her purse if she went somewhere. Maybe she's sleeping and doesn't know something has happened to Echo. So Christy then goes to Jenny's room. She calls to her, wake up. But Jenny doesn't react. It's dark in the room, but as Christy's eyes adjust, she sees blood.
Nice Echo and the Bunnymen blast. Good on you, David.
Doesn't know what to do or think. She calls her boyfriend and she says she thinks Jenny is dead. She calls the police and she says she thinks her friend Jenny
is dead.
There's no idea.
Good job, Law and Crime.
Excuse me. I have Avoca Street. When he gets to the door, he can hear sobbing, and he goes in to find where that sobbing is coming from. As he enters, Christy opens the residence. Christy opens the door to the bedroom and latches onto Hesselbacher, saying, "Don't leave me." Christy stays there while Hesselbacher looks around the room, turns on a light, and sees what scared Christy. A woman is clearly deceased in her bed. It's bloody, and she has wounds about her face, and he notices a finger on the nightstand. This is a homicide.
Interesting. Donald Hartung allegedly chopped off his mother's finger too. Weird.
The defendant is still in the house and not accounted for. So Hesselbacher takes Christy away from the scene while other officers defend it. Lieutenant Wilkins DeJuste arrives to help inside the house, while other officers, including Lieutenant Chad Crable, secure the exterior of the house. DeJuste will tell you about the precautions the department takes when trying to see, and that in this instant they called out several times, "Police, if you are here, come to my voice." So they continue to clear the house.
Little did they know he was probably actually coming to his voice.
Which they initially believed to be attic access, is actually
I love me some Echo and the Bunny Man. I missed their concert by 2 days when I was in Utah.
and they tell
Bummed
him to
me
put his
out.
hand behind his back, which he does immediately. Jesus goes on to clear the rest of the house. There's no one. Investigator Isaiah Hoff is inside the house as the defendant is being detained. The defendant is naked, appears wet, and officers roll him over and help him to his feet.
Naked and appears
I'll
wet.
tell you about the defendant's appearance, his personal observations of him during that time, and that a decision was made to put him in a Tyvek suit in order to preserve any potential evidence and just put him in something because it's January 18th and it's cold outside.
Dude was naked, wet, and to the point where they said, let's just put him in a hazmat suit to be careful. Oh my Lord. Ew.
Given the nature of things, the scene,
Moist.
the condition the defendant was in, law enforcement made the decision to transport him to Mercy Hospital to make sure he's okay. The defendant by investigator Kurt Rosenthal, while other investigators remain on scene collecting evidence. A hatchet sheath is seen on the dining room table. Search warrants are obtained to process the house.
Yeah, Roland asks if it is a voiceover for this possible from a transcript. No, this was yesterday. This is a brand new trial that's on. Day 2 is live right now. We're just giving you a preview. It gets better later. When the defense starts to speak, it gets a little bit better. I don't know why they're obviously using a voice activated microphone, and I don't know why.
And collect swabs of DNA from the defendant, as well as samples of his blood and urine. The house is processed first.
Really, you don't say.
Examination. Jenny's bedroom is photographed as it is.
Yes, they do fix the
Swabs
audio
are
later.
taken,
Ish.
And Jenny is packaged and taken to the Iowa Medical Exam office. That sheath on the dining room table that was seen, its partner was located in the bathroom, sitting on a shelf just above the toilet. That hatchet is packaged and sent to the Iowa Crime Lab for testing. There are drops on the floor just in the living room where the dog is located, and those are swabbed and sent to the lab for testing. The defendant's room was searched.
People are bailing because of the audio, but hang tight.
Nothing that appeared to have blood on them. The house had ring cameras and 4 doors. It was clear that the basement door
4 doors,
was
more
not
whores.
accessed. The side door was locked, and the camera located above it did not have any footage that had been saved. The front porch door was open and led to an interior door, which had another ring camera that did present footage. That footage was reviewed by police officers. The camera on the front is a motion triggered camera, so it was activated when something was caught in its line of sight. On January 7th, the camera caught Jenny's son Nick and swapping cars, leaving for the night around 8 p.m. The defendant was home during this time. That camera caught Jenny letting Echo in at 10 o'clock p.m. There's no movement on that camera until 8:38 a.m. on January 18th when Christy arrives for that coffee date. There's footage at 8:51 a.m. when Hesselbauer arrives at 1605 Avoca Street. Crable and Hoff testified that there was no evidence of a disturbance outside the area, no evidence that anything on the outside.
Goodbye, Nicole Marie. Thank you for joining.
While Avoca Street was being processed, the defendant was at Mercy Hospital. Just before he arrived to the hospital, he said something alone in a squad car. An investigator wrote.
Uh-oh. Don't talk in the squad car.
The defendant was ultimately cleared from the hospital, taken to the law center. Between the hospital and the law center, the defendant's DNA swabs were collected and blood sample were collected. The defendant told investigator Rosenthal that he had showered right before officers came to the house. He called his mother a whore and a witch. He said he owned and had seen his hatchet just that morning. He will tell you about the discussion he had with the defendant. He will tell you about his observations of the defendant and that injuries were observed. Dr. Michael Adam White assessed wound to it and determined that wound had caused Echo's death. Dr. Kelly Cruz examined Jennifer Daisy's injuries. Cause of death, homicide.
Well, thanks for having no audio during the cause of death part of your statement. That's pretty good.
Separate cutting and chopping.
Something teen separate cut. So he whacked him a teen number of times.
Injuries and the significance of those injuries for death. That hatchet, that blood. Well, the droplets in the living room and by Jenny's bedroom, Jenny's blood. Blood on the hatchet, Jenny's blood.
Rain on the scarecrow, blood on the plow.
Which was located right over the toilet in the bathroom, right by the shower. A palm print that matches the defendant.
Oh, well, okay, that's not good.
All this evidence points
Okay, a bloody palm print matching the defendant is definitely not good for the defendant. I'm going to say that right now. That's less than desirable if you're a defense lawyer, to have your client's bloody handprint next to the axe that murdered your family dog and mom.
The defendant being responsible for both Jennifer and X. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree and is guilty of.
Okay, that was a very short opening statement for the prosecution. Jeez. Okay, I was going to say that there's two options for the defense at this point. One is to lay out all of the arguments as to how their defendant is not guilty, and how they're going to prove that he has alibis and all these other things, and how the state had tunnel vision, etc. Or alternate two is what we saw in cases like Taylor's Business, the dude that ate his family in Wisconsin. What the hell was his name? the guy that murdered his parents and cooked them in the fireplace and then scattered their body parts around the neighborhood. What the hell was that guy's name? I've suddenly gone blank. Chandler Halderson, that's right. Yeah, so like Chandler Halderson and Taylor's Business, their opening statements by their defense lawyers were, keep an open mind. That's all. That's kind of what they were. Let's see what. With the bloody handprint matching the defendant, I'm going to cast my bet for the my client has a right to a trial. Please try to have an open mind. Thank you. I'm guessing that's the way the defense opening is going to go. Okay, the nice clean cut looking defense lawyer with a suit that fits, which is very, very, very unlawyer like to have.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Hoover, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first of all, I want to thank you all for showing. I know it was under the threat of being thrown in jail if you didn't, but if 3 of you had chose not to show up.
Okay, this guy's a comedian. He's the comedian lawyer. I've never heard a defense lawyer say that, but I like that. See, don't joke in court. Never, ever, ever tell jokes in court, especially if you're defending a guy that's accused of axe murdering his mom and dog. But this guy just pulled off a good joke. It is ridiculously difficult to be a funny defense lawyer in court in a horrible case like this. But thank you for joining us here today, even though you were threatened with being thrown in jail if you didn't show up. That was actually really good. I like that. I want to hear that again because that's true. I like that. That was good. Points for funny defense lawyer guy.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Hoover, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first of all, I want to thank you all for showing. I know it was under the threat of being thrown in jail, if you didn't, but
That's really
if
good.
3 of you had chose not to show up, yesterday would have been for nothing, so thank you. The path of least resistance. We're all human, and humans tend to go that way. We go to the path of least resistance, okay? And law enforcement, obviously, is also human. That's what they do. For the path of least resistance. It was there. Hey, we got someone who we can place.
Tunnel vision.
At the scene. We've got something that could have been used as a murder weapon. And it's found in the house. Frankly, Mr. Daisy making some statements that are strange, if nothing else. But,
dude, the nothing else is showing that he did it. Oh, yep. I called it. This is what we're going with. The prosecution and the investigators had tunnel vision, and please have an open mind.
Ask you to do is keep an open mind.
No, I called it right there. Right there. He said the magic words.
Nothing else. But what I'm going to ask you to do is keep an open mind. What I'm going to ask you to do is listen to all the evidence.
Yep, it's the Halderson opening.
They didn't follow up on. Listen for the things that they can't provide evidence for. Okay?
This is going to be a short trial.
I think you're going to hear testimony about this side door. That's always. I think you're also going to hear testimony about who had the keys to that, and that there were 2 people who had the keys. One was Jennifer, and one was Kylie Frey.
Oh.
You're going to hear testimony that they can place Kylie. They can tell you where Kylie Frey was at 10 at night and 8 in the morning, but they really can't tell you what happened.
Okay. All right. He's surprised me here. He didn't just go with the keep an open mind defense. He's going for the somebody else did it defense. Kylie, he's going for the Kylie did it or somebody else. All right. So that's a surprise. So that may increase the length of the trial a couple of days. Okay, it's the somebody else did it. The third party.
Because we know she was alive at 10 at night. Okay. The evidence is going to show that. At 8:30, for sure that she was deceased because that's when she was discovered around that time. So what I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, is listen to all the evidence, not just the evidence that takes you down the path of least resistance. Because sometimes that path takes you to the right place, but sometimes that path can lead you astray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that you guys are going to do what we ask of you, which is pay attention. We ask you to know all the evidence, and we're eventually going to ask you to go back to that jury room, and we're going to ask you to deliberate, look at all the evidence, and at the end, we're going to ask you to come back with a just verdict.
See, that's like the 5th time he said all the evidence. All right. Oh, God. Yeah, there we go. That's the opening statements for both sides in the new Iowa murder case here. As you can see here from the scroll, the mom witchcraft murder trial, Iowa v. Tyler Daisy. Okay. That was unexpectedly short. You make sure I set the volume back to 100. All right. Well, all right. So our like and subscribe poll, let's look at that. Like, subscribe, and vote. This is your last chance, people, all 198 of you that are still here, to hit that like and subscribe button. I got to do some math here to see if we accidentally hit Doggo Cam. So we got 25, 35, 40. No, we're 45 away from. We're 40 away from Doggo Cam now, because Ike Varna says, I always interpret keep an open mind as defense language for ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I have nothing to defend my client with. You are not wrong, Ike. That's kind of what it means. And he said, look at all of the evidence like 5 times. So that's kind of all he's got. Who is snoring? They're both snoring. Both of the dogs are snoring here next to me. Oh, dear. You came in late, I guess, Bernice, because we're just getting ready to wrap this thing up. Tomorrow's show will be new developments in the Laura Owens Clayton Eckert case. We've got to catch up on a couple of motions. Yesterday, we looked at the motion to dismiss the charges. Oh, no, the motion for a new judge. We've got to look at the motion to dismiss, the motion, the reply to the motion, the reply to the reply to the motion, and the judge has issued a ruling, apparently, according to the case docket. I'm just waiting for that information. So we'll see what the judge decided tomorrow as well. So we'll look at the motion to dismiss. We'll look at Clayton Eckert's response to Laura's motion to dismiss, and Laura's lawyer's response to the motion to dismiss, and the judgment. That's what we'll be doing on Friday. Next Friday will be F It Friday. Monday will be the triumphant return of Maritime Monday. So that's what's coming up on the horizon for those of you that are wondering. And the like and subscribe poll, like I said, is your last chance. We got 201 people here, 351 likes. Like, subscribe, and vote. If you haven't subscribed, please do me the favor. Please do me the honor of giving me your subscription. Subscribe to me. Come back for more. We do trials. We do Maritime Monday on Mondays. Thursdays are the retro trials like this. And we do other things. So cool. Come and join me. Subscribe. You know you want to, so do it. And then take our like and subscribe poll. There's a new witchcraft trial of which we just watched the opening statements. They just took place yesterday. And should we watch it after this trial? So, and part of our regular Thursday, once we finish up the Hartung trial on Thursday, then we'll start on this. It'll be over long before we actually start watching it. But let me know here in the like and subscribe poll. 41% of you said werewolf, their castle, which means yes, absolutely do it. So that seems to already have won. And then the 21%, okay, is they're coming to get you, Barbara. And 23% of you also said, no, I don't think so. Pound a stake through its heart. And 15% of you said, now 16% of you said, no, run, hide in the basement. But so it looks like that wins. So once we finish with the Florida v. Hartung trial, we'll start on this. Like I said, I don't expect this to be a long trial at all. So there we go. That's what's happened. That's what's going to happen. Now let's shut down the poll here now. Boom and poll. And as we wrap up, let me see where to send you all. Where can we send you? Hang tight. There's lots of stuff going on in the world of YouTube. Let's see who I can send people to. And oh, hey, we picked up like 8 subscribers during that. That is so cool. Thank you, whoever subscribed. And I hope the rest of you follow the lead and subscribe. We're trying desperately to get to 78,000. We're at 70,636 at the moment. So we're not too far away. We need like 340-ish, and then we will be at 78,000 subscribers. That's pretty damn cool. All right. I'm checking the customization and the redirect buttons. No, the Wiccan expert hasn't come yet. That's probably going to be in the next couple of weeks. But we did have the cellmate, not the cellmate, we had the podmate who said that he was talking about Wiccan stuff. Let's see. Sarah Birchmore discussion with the Young Turks. Ashley Benefield, the Black Swan murder trial with Broken Baker. Oh, it looks like Nick Starro is actually covering this case live. You can watch, we'll send you on over to Nick Starro so you can watch the Iowa Witchcraft mom murder trial live, day 2. And then what David Portnoy is streaming. 1, I couldn't direct to him, and 2, he's like one of the last people I would send to. I don't know why. He just rubs me the wrong way. So anyway, thank you for all the new subs that came in today. Thank you, mods, for doing the moddy business. And thank you, chat, for keeping me entertained. I hope I was entertaining to you and you were entertaining to each other. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to do all the YouTube-y stuff. And introduce your friends to the channel, the friends that you trust, that would have a good time. And don't forget to go to thedragonstreasure.com and pick up some delicious tea. Use code VICES. Get like, I think it's 50. It's either 10 or 15%. I think it's 15%, but don't quote me on that. It'll tell you. So thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow for the latest in the Clayton Echard Laura Owens saga. Until then, take care of yourself. Love all of you, and we will see you then as soon as I find the outro somewhere. Where did it go? It went somewhere. There it is. Goodbye, everybody.